Hey, Samara Jackson, how you doing? Hey, Sammy Jizzle. She said, yes, they are. Mm. Hey, Demetrius, buddy. Hey, if you guys could hear me okay, could you let me know? Because I'm on my computer this morning, and y'all know how that go. I'd always rather be on my phone, but I'm dealing with this microphone, this computer, these headphones. There's a lot going on this morning. So if you guys could hear me, please let me know. Yes, yes, yes. I will stay away from this live. Hey, Memphis G, how you doing? Hey, Deborah Lewis. Sound is good. Okay, thank you, thank you guys for letting me know. Thank you, Deborah. Thank you. I appreciate you guys. Okay, so what we're doing this. Oh, and hey, everybody, thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate y'all. I've been away for a couple of days with y'all. I have to keep my energy positive. I don't be wanting to go there anymore, but thank you guys so much for joining me. You know, and sometimes it's just best to sit back and watch, right? Hey, True Black Cheetah, how you doing? But this morning, hey, Jay Parrish, how you doing? Mm, child. But this morning, yesterday I got a message under one of my old videos, right? And I was like, oh my God, that is so sweet. So I got a message and from um mm, Amethyst. Hold on, let me read y'all the message, okay? Because I forgot the child's name. Hold on, let me go to the message. So the message says, let me pull it up because I want to read it to you guys directly. But anyway, this video is per a subscriber / viewer request, and we're going to revisit a video that I did a little over a year ago. The message is from free thinker Amethyst Hart. I hope she'll join in because she said had to come back and watch one of the oldie but goodies, right? And I said, oh, and she said, could you reshare some of these? And I was so happy that somebody's watching my old videos, and I said I sure will, and I said I sure will, and that's what I'm doing today. Okay, we are doing a revisit on today, so that's why I'm here. And so anyway, a little over a year ago, I did a video titled, hold on a minute, a little over a year ago, I was still over in, I think it was like a year and 9 months or something like that. I was doing commentary over on the black sector side. I'm not even gonna call it an old black sector side because it was like a little over a year ago, and we know now it's just a extension of the beef sector, in my opinion. But a little over a year ago, I did a video entitled Malcolm X on the House Negro, revisiting Damon Young's Black Men or the white people of black people. Now, Damon Young did a in 2017, there was an article from The Root, and it was and the author of the title is Black Men. His name is Damon Young, and he wrote an article titled Black Men, quote unquote, Black Men are the white people, the white people of black people. That's the title of the video. That's the title of the article. And I'm going to pull up the article. And like I said, I did this a little bit over, and also over, and a little bit over a year ago. If you've ever been on the in the black sector side for any amount of time, you'll know that I have always gone and back and forth with those men over there in the black manosphere, right? It just is what it is. And y'all please hit the like button if you don't mind. I would really appreciate it. And so I had, continuously on a continuous basis, I was going back and forth with those guys over there. Hey, Uncle Cloud, how you doing, love? Going back and forth, like I said, with the black manosphere and all those he-man black woman haters, right? And so I did a video, as far as I can recollect. Kobe Bryant had passed away, and I did a video speaking not derogatorily against Kobe Bryant, but I was speaking on where his generational wealth was going, because he had died in a plane crash, him, his daughter, rest in peace, Kobe Bryant. But I was what I was talking about was his generational wealth, right? Is it his generational wealth? Clearly, is not going to be funneled back into the black community, because he was in an interracial relationship. So that means his generational wealth is going back into whoever who whoever community his wife is. So I think she's like Hispanic or something, maybe. And so that is where his generational wealth is going into that community, right? And if you guys don't mind, can you please hit the like button? Thank you so much. I realize this is not necessarily a beef sector uh type of commentary, but we're going to spin it into the beef sector, right? So anyway, like I said, per viewer request or subscriber request, we are doing this video this morning because I appreciated her looking at the video. I appreciate her asking me to reshare some of my old videos. I don't even always think about doing that, right? But I went back and I listened to the video and I really liked that video. I was like, wow, you go, girl. Okay. I'm like, okay, we can definitely reshare this video. And so that's what we're going to do. So, but I'm going to add some more commentary to it, but I'm still going to reshare the video. I'm sure, like I said, I'll be stopping to add some more to it, and we're going to tweak it a little bit because I had to retweak the title, because it's not only straight. The question is not only or some, I should have said put some in the title. I reworked the title. Or some, because not all. We know it's not all. Or some black men slash males, men and or males, are they the white people of black people? Not all. Like I said, we are not monolithic people, but are some, black men or males, whatever. You know what I mean? So anyway, we're gonna start the video and listen to a little bit of the video. Now, when the video starts, y'all let me know if y'all can hear it or not, because I'm fixed to share it, and we'll just go from there, okay? But like I said, this is per viewer request, and I was so glad that she asked me to revisit this video, because I had forgot all about it. But let me put up this disclaimer if I can real fast. Hold on a minute. Yeah. Let's see. Okay. Can we see the disclaimer? Let's see if it'll pop up. Because we're going to have to play some audio. Some audio is in this video from Malcolm X. Hey, free thinker. I was just talking about you. Yes. Thank you, girl, for... I was talking a little earlier about how you asked me to reshare some of my oldie but goodies. And thank you so much. I appreciate it, right? And so that's what we're doing. And so thank you for requesting this, though. Okay, y'all. So we're going to start, and I'm going to share this video. But first, I wanted to put up the disclaimer because I have to play the audio. Y'all being the white man, little sense. Okay. Yes. Okay. Okay. That's true. That's true, Sammy. Hey, we're going to discuss it, right? Because like I said, I want to add some extra commentary. But I am going to, but I forgot to put some in the title because like I said, not all, Thank you for the, no, free thinker. Thank you for listening to some of the old content. I don't always get to, revisit, my old videos. So I'm like, okay, I wasn't even thinking about it. So let me, try to pull up the video. And like I said, we'll get started. I was like, wow, this is a good idea. Let me go on and do that. Because I really, let me see if I can, hold on. Share audio. If I can remember how to do this, child. Y'all know how to, do I do Windows or Chrome? I think I do Chrome. Yeah, here we go. Okay. So I want to share the video. Okay, let's see. Hold on, guys. Let's see if it'll pop up or not. Maybe I need to take this. Uh-oh. I might need to take down the, what you call it? Shoot. I did something wrong. Hold on, guys. I did something wrong. I'm gonna have to stop sharing for a minute. Y'all work with me. Hold on, chat. Hold on. We on a mission this morning, okay? Dealing with this dang on oh, what did I do? Let me go back to StreamYard. Let me take this disclaimer down. Take that down, put that back. Now share the video. Hold on. Child. Y'all work with me. Hold on a minute. Because I did something wrong. Let's start over again. Share audio. Minutes. Hey, Coriel Lover. How you doing? I see Paulette. Hey, Paulette. Hey, everybody that came in. Now, let's try this again. Okay? I think I got it right this time, y'all. It's really honestly easier for me to work StreamYard on the phone, but I can't share the videos on the phone. Let's see if I got it right, though. See if it pop up now. Hey, Keisha Bishop. How you doing? Let's see. Okay, here's the video. I can't make it any bigger, but what we want is the audio. It ain't that much to show anyway. Okay, so here's the video per request from Freethinker Amethyst Freethinker. And so, yeah, like I said, I did this video a little over a year ago. And here we go. Let's get started. I guess it's kind of a reaction video, right? If you will, to my own video. Can you call it that? A reaction video to my own video? Hey, Liz. Hey, Izzy, Liz. Hey, Snazzy Girl. Let's get started. Y'all let me know if y'all can hear this, okay?
Who taught you, please? Who taught you to hate the texture of your hair? Who taught you to hate
let me
the
know if
color
y'all
of
need
your
me to
skin
turn it up
to such extent that you bleach to get like the white man? Who taught you to hate the shape of your nose and the shape of your lips? Who taught you to hate yourself from the top of your head to the soles of your feet? Who taught you to hate your own kind? Who taught you to hate the race that you belong to? So much
Can y'all hear this video?
You don't want to be around each other. No, before you come asking Mr. Muhammad, does he teach hate? You should ask yourself who taught you to hate being what God gave you.
Cloud, can you hear the video?
We teach you to love the hair that God gave you.
Thank you.
Here you way out in the middle of the ocean, can't swim, and you worried about someone that's in the bathtub and can't swim. We don't steal, we don't gamble, we don't lie, and we don't cheat. And that also deprives the government of revenue, because you can't get into a whiskey bottle without getting past the government seal. You can't open a deck of cards without getting past the government seal. There's a white man who makes the whiskey and then puts you in jail for getting drunk. He sells you the cards and the dice and puts you in jail when he gets it to use them. So he's against us because we fix it where he can't catch you anymore. We take the dice out of your hands and the cards out of your hand and the whiskey out of your head. The most disrespected person in America is the black woman. The most unprotected person in America is the black woman. The most neglected person in America is the black woman. And as Muslims, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us to respect our women and to protect our women. Then the only time a Muslim really gets real violent is when someone goes to molest his woman. We will kill you for our woman. I'm making it plain, yes. We will kill you for our woman. We believe that if the white man will do whatever is necessary to see that his woman gets respect and protection, then you and I will never be recognized as men until we stand up like men and place the same penalty over the head of anyone who puts his filthy hands out to put in the direction of our women.
Good Monday afternoon, YouTube. How you guys doing today? I hope you guys are I hope you guys are having, should I say, a wonderful start to your work week. So I just wanted to start off this video and our conversation with words of the great Malcolm X. We know that we no longer have a warrior class. Collectively in the Black community anymore. And I present to you today the fact that we probably never have. Okay, Malcolm X also did a speech called The House Negro and the Field Negro. Okay, and as when you put it, when you talk about the house Negro and the field Negro, we know that the field Negro was the Negro out in the field working hard, picking the cotton, doing what he got to do, to provide as best he can, for his people, to keep the man off his back. He figured if he worked hard, from sun up to sundown, he'll keep the man off his back. We know that off his back or his woman's back. We know, unfortunately, that was not true. But a part of the reason why I say we no longer have a warrior class in the Black community collectively is because we see our Black men, pretty much advocating and acting like putting himself in the place of the white man in the Black community. And that is what we're going to talk about today. But first, let me fix my phone so I can see you guys' comments. Give me 1 second so I can say my good afternoons to everybody. And so, yeah. And you guys, if you don't mind, please hit the like button. So thanks for joining me, everybody, this afternoon. I know a lot of you guys are listening at work. I think that you will enjoy what I am going to present to you today. Good afternoon, Jessica, Lachey Divine, Alicia, Jessica Truth, good morning. I am an Aries Queen, good morning. Miss Clorm, good morning. Cloud, hey, Cloud, hey. Nikki Joe, good morning. So anyway, guys, what I want to talk to you about today is Jonathan, good morning. There was an article in 2017 written by a author by the name of Damon Young. And in 2017, I had only been on YouTube for a couple of months. And like I've told you guys before, that prior to me coming to YouTube, I had never heard of all of this back and forth between the Black man and the Black woman, all of this rhetoric, especially this anti-Black woman hatred coming out of the mouths of Black men. Good morning, Marquise. That is not my world. Even today, that is not my world. So when this article came out by Damon Young in 2017, the name of that article was Straight Black Men Are the White People of Black People. So a lot of people were, in uproar about it, especially on Twitter. I did a video about it, and in that video, I was in an uproar because I'm like, oh my God, is he crazy? What is he saying? This is a lie. This is not true. Why would they say something like this, about the Black man? Do you see what I'm saying? I was just in an uproar. And like I said, this is prior to me understanding, a lot of this anti-Black woman rhetoric that we are even having to endure as Black women in this quote unquote woke sector of YouTube today. And so that is also in part why I titled the video The House Negro's Revenge. Okay, because we know the House Negro, he did everything and anything. His only goal in life was to please the master. Do you see what I'm saying? When the master say we sick, he say we sick, boss. And brother Malcolm said, in the words of Malcolm X, when the white man say my house is burning down, he say our house is burning down, boss. Do you see what I'm saying? And I told you a little bit about what I thought about that, about the Black man seeking the validation of the white man, and why he's turned against us, because he's jealous of the Black woman, because he feels like the Black woman gets more attention from the white man than he does. And for that reason, for that reason alone, it's why we have to hear so many derogatory things coming out of the mouths of these he-man Black woman haters, coming out of the mouths of Black men. black men in this sector because they simply are jealous of the black woman. Okay, and so going back to the article, the Damon Young. Let me pause this for a minute, guys. I just want to add a little bit to that. Not only in the quote unquote black sector, the other end of it, do we hear this type of rhetoric against the black woman? We hear it in other sectors. When it comes to predominantly black sectors, we also hear a lot of that rhetoric in this sector right here, and so that's why I titled this video "All Black Men slash Males, Black Men and Males, gay and straight, the white people of black people." That's why I had to rework the title because it not only pertains to straight black men, it also pertains to some straight black men, and it also pertains to some gay men as well. That's why I retitled the title of the video, right? So anyway, I just want to mention that. Let's continue. Article in 2017, I didn't agree with it. I didn't understand what it was that he was trying to say. Like I said, that was not my word. I had never heard of anything like that in my life. I absolutely disagreed. But today, in 2020, I absolutely agree with the article. Okay, and I'm going to share the article with you, as well as read to you some of the article, and because of the things that I'm hearing out of the mouths of these black men, these he-man black woman haters, this is why I agree with this article. This article is absolutely on point. And so yeah, let me share my screen and we'll get into it. Like I said, I know a lot of you guys are at work, but I really wanted to come on and talk about this today. So let me try to share my screen. 1 second. I'm getting better at this, y'all. Okay, I hope you guys are hitting the like button, and also if you would like to support my channel, all of your donations are greatly appreciated. Please feel free to hit that super chat button or that cash app button, or my donation information is in the description box. Just let me say that. Let me share the screen. Hold on 1 second. Now I'm gonna pull up the article for you guys. It took me a minute to find this article because, like I said, it was back in 17. It took me a minute to go through the Rolodex in my brain and even remember the name of the young man that wrote the article. Okay, but I really want to share it with you guys today. And yeah, let's see here. I'm trying. Okay, let me see if you guys can see this. 1 second. Okay, you can see it. Okay, so like I said, this article was published 9/19/17. It's by Damon Young. It's published in The Root. The name of that article is Straight Black Men Are the White People of Black People. And like I said, at the time that this article came out, a lot of people were up in arms about the article. Do you see what I'm saying? A lot of people didn't agree with it. And in 2017, I didn't even agree with it. But like I said, I have gotten a whole education as it pertains to the gender wars and how a lot of black men, not all, but how a lot of black men view black women, how a lot of the vitriol that is spewed on a daily basis, towards the black woman, to the point to where, if we're not careful, you are going to have black men acting out some of the things that they talk about on YouTube and on social media, because there is so much hate. There's an enormous hate campaign against the black woman going on right now. And so let me pause it again right here for a minute. Now, when I was talking about this a little over a year ago, it was kind of like a prophecy, if you will, because a couple of weeks ago, I saw a video from Paris Milan, and we know that, just let me say, since the onslaught of the pandemic, there have been over 1,000 plus black women that have died at the hands of men, black and non-black, and they're calling it femicide. And the reason why they're calling it femicide, it is because there are uptick in the murder of black women, right? In particular, right? Energy Matcher says they already are 1280. They're at 1200 now, right? And so I saw a mistreatment from a content creator, black women this week, and it made me recall the is that you know what, free thinker? I understand. It made me want to do the article, review this video as well. Because of that, we're kind of on the same wavelength, right? And so like I said, there's an issue of femicide going on, the murder of black women in particular. And Matcher just said it's over 1200 now. And so like I said, I saw a video a couple of weeks ago by a content creator by the name of Paris Milan. Some of you guys have may look at Paris Milan. Paris Milan, I don't know if you do or not, but she did a video that really shook me to my core. And when I said a year ago that some of these men were going to start acting out on some of this rhetoric that they're hearing on a daily basis being spewed out of black men, gay and straight. They're going to start acting out on it. So I saw the video she did, and she showed several videos of black women being accosted, right? Being that they've been followed. To one video was of a black female content creator. She's single. This black man followed her to her home. She made it inside of her house and locked her doors. So he's beating on her door. He's trying to get into her house. She called the police. He had zip ties and gloves on, and she caught all this on the ring, the ring doorbell camera. All of that video was caught because of the ring doorbell thing, right? And that's where she saw the zip ties and the like I don't if he was gonna try to abduct her or just kill her there. I don't know what the deal was with that. I saw another one where a black woman was trying to go up the steps in her house. And she just in her apartment, she just made it into her apartment. She had a child with her on her hip. She made it in the house and locked the door. The black man was trying to open the door and get her into her apartment. I saw another video where a black man was doing some really gross things at this woman's door. She had made it inside of her door, just in time. And it would appear that these incidents are, growing in number. And so it was kind of like a premonition, if you will. But we're now seeing these things being acted out via all of this rhetoric that is being spewed not only on YouTube, but on social media. Do you see what I'm saying? We're seeing that's why, in part, I believe the femicide rate is at an all-time high as it pertains to black women. And so there's also another reason why I want to revisit this video. So anyway, sorry about the interruption. And so let's continue. Sorry about that, King's Mina, but I'm glad you joined us. I'm glad you got it. And hey, Lady T, and hey, everybody that just came in. So anyway, we're revisiting a video that I did over a year ago. Okay. So anyway, let's continue. So, like I said, I want to share some of this article with you guys. I don't know if a lot of you guys remember or if any of you guys remember. That's another reason why I want to share this article, because I'm in agreement with the article. Now, so let me try to scroll down and we'll try to read along. I don't know if you guys can see the print, but that is why I'm going to read it. And so, yeah, forgive me when I start to stumble over my words. It's just that my brain is downloading the information quicker than my mouth can spit it out. Okay, I don't know if it's a southern thing or if that's just a me thing, but please be patient with me. Okay, not to mention these glasses ain't the best. Anyhow, we're going to read the article. Okay, and so the article goes as follows. And I quote, if you guys wouldn't mind hitting the like button before we get started, I would greatly appreciate it. The article states, which is written by Damon Young in 2017, and I quote, it feels counterintuitive to suggest that straight black men as a whole possess any sort of privilege, or particularly the type of privilege created for and protected by whiteness. In America, we are near or at the bottom in every relevant metric determining quality of life. Our arrest and incarceration rates, our likelihood of dying a violent death, our likelihood of graduating high school and attending college, our employment rates, our average net worth, our likelihood of surviving past 70. I could continue, but the point is clear. The article goes on to state that, but assessing our privilege or lack thereof on these facts considers only our relationship with whiteness and with America. Intraracially, however, our relationship to and with black women is not unlike whiteness relationship to us. In fact, it's eerily similar. Let me scroll down a little bit more for you guys. Okay, this is where we are now. The article goes on to state that we're the ones for whom the first black president created an entire initiative to assist and uplift. And they're talking about Barack Obama's initiative to save, the black boys. Uplift. It says, we're the ones whose beatings and deaths at the hands of the police galvanize the community in a way that the beatings and sexual assaults and deaths to those same police that those same police inflict upon black women do not. We all know that via the rise and via the onslaught, should I say, of black men and boys being shot down in the street. Do you see what I'm saying? There was a whole Black Lives Matter movement created to try to combat this horrific thing that's going on even today in our community. So the article goes on to state that, but you have no protest and you have nothing other than a bootleg a Me Too movement that was started by a black woman, by the way, and it's been taken apart. But Anglo women have taken upon that fight because they're going at the. Let me pause that. We saw a perfect example of that with the death of Sandra Bland. Sandra Bland's death. It was so horrific that it was pushed to the forefront. But we don't always get to see the outpouring of affection when it comes to the death of a black man as it pertains to a black woman. And hey, Jessica, you was on this chat or this stream a little over a year ago. Real active in the chat. I wish I don't know if you can see it up on the screen, but I was like, Jessica was there. I don't know if you remember it or not, but yeah. So anyway, good morning, everybody. But I just want to mention that, and that's why I brought that up. And when I did this article, when I did this video, I hadn't heard. I don't know. Well, I hadn't heard of the death of Sandra Bland. And so was it Sandra Bland? No, not Sandra Bland. Child wasn't Sandra Bland. It was Lord, what's that child's name? It's just so many of them. Okay. I have finished replay. Thank you, Coriel. You have a great day too. It wasn't Sandra Bland. It was Lord Jesus. What was her name, Claude? She was shot up with her boyfriend. I believe it was in Kentucky. Yeah, Breonna Taylor. Yeah, we hadn't heard of the death of Breonna Taylor yet. When I did this video right here. Anyway, I just want to mention that. Let's continue. The next of black men and white men, but a lot of black men have been thrown under the bus via Me Too. But out of that, none of that is going on when it comes to like the article states of the beating and assaults that are done and inflicted upon black women. Okay. The article goes on to state that we're the ones whose mistreatment inspired a boycott of the NFL, despite the NFL's long history of mishandling and outright ignoring far worse crimes against black women. We are the ones who get the biggest seat at the table and the biggest piece of chicken at the table, despite making the smallest contribution to the meal. That was deep. The article goes on to state that, and nowhere is this more evident than when considering the collective danger we pose to black women and our collective lack of willingness to accept and make amends for that truth. It's a damning and depressing paradox. When speaking about race and racism, we want our concerns and our worries and our fears to be acknowledged. We want white people to at least make an effort to understand that our reality is different from theirs and that white supremacy is a vital and inexplicable part of America's foundation. And we grow frustrated when they refuse to acknowledge their role, historically and presently, in propagating it. I'm trying to scroll down a bit. Hold on. I'm trying to keep you guys with me in this. The article goes on to state that when the racism isn't blatant or doesn't appear to exist at all, we want them to give us the benefit of the doubt because we've trained ourselves to be able to sense it, even in minute, even in minute and barely perceptible amounts, because our safety depends on our recognition of it. We sure have feels to be stopped by a police officer, or perhaps to walk into an all-white bar and have each eye trained on us, or perhaps to jaunt down the street in an all-white neighborhood. And we want them to understand how words and gestures they consider to be innocuous can be threatening, even if there is no intention or malice, or intention, or even if there is no, intention of malice. Although we recognize that not all white people are actively racist, we want them to accept that our benefit from racism, and we become annoyed when individual whites take personal exception and center themselves in any conversation about race, claiming to be one of the quote unquote good ones, and wishing for us to stop and acknowledge their goodness. That's deep, right? The article goes on to state that, but when Black women show that we pose the same existential and literal danger to them that whiteness does to us, and when Black women ask us to give them the benefit of the doubt about street harassment and sexual assault and other forms of harassment and violence we might not personally witness, and when Black women tell us that following our cousins and brothers and co-workers and niggas, to use misogynistic language, propagates that culture of danger, and when Black women admit how scary it can be to get followed and approached by a man while waiting for a bus or walking home from work, and when Black women articulate how hurtful it is for our reactions to domestic abuse and the rapes and murders to be quote unquote what women need to do differently to prevent this from happening to them, unquote, instead of, quote, what we men need to do differently to prevent us from doing this to them, unquote, their words are met with resistance and outright pushback. After demanding from white people that we're listened to and believed and that our livelihoods are considered, our ears shut off and hearts shut down when Black women are pleading with us. Let me scroll down a little bit more. The article goes on to state that making things worse is that Black women and girls are also Black people in America, a fact we seem to forget whenever possessing a bad memory is convenient. The effect of racism, metaphysical and literal, and the existential dread and dangers felt when existing while Black are not exclusive to Black men and boys. They face the same racisms we do, and the same doubts from whites about whether the racism actually exists that we do. And then they're forced to attempt to convince their brothers and partners and friends and fathers and cousins and lovers of the dangers of existing as Black women. And they're met with the same doubts, the same resistance, the same questions. They're not believed in the predominantly white world or in their predominantly Black communities. And we Black men remain either uninterested in sincerely addressing and destructing this culture of danger and pervasive doubt, or refuse to admit it even exists. The article goes on to state that I'm not quite sure where I first heard, quote, straight black men are the white people or black people, unquote. I know I read a version of it recently in Saki Benebo's, quote, the 444 effect, unquote. Molly Mashinko tweeted, cis black men are the white people of black people, unquote, over a year ago, and apparently received so much criticism for it that she temporarily locked her account. But in a conversation we had earlier today, she shared that her tweet was actually a revision of another tweet she'd read a month after Molly's tweet. It was revised again by Rodimus Prime. The article goes on to state that I also know that I've read pieces and been a part of conversations connecting our black men's relationships with black women to the relationships we have with white people, but never quite heard it articulated this way. The article goes on to state that either way, that statement, that phrasing, and what they suggest are shocking and succinct, simple, subtle, and effing scary. And that is true. Unquote. That is the article. That is the entire article that Damon Young wrote in 2017 that sparked such an uproar on YouTube as well as Twitter when he wrote it. And like I said at the time, I did not agree because of my ignorance of how so many black men really felt about black women. I didn't agree with this article, but I have gotten a whole education, like I said, on YouTube, and I now agree with this article. Okay, that is just the bottom line, because we all know that when it comes to the He-Man black woman haters in this community, it is true. So if you guys will let me, and good afternoon, everybody. If I haven't said good afternoon, so yeah, let me stop this share so I can focus. Hold on one second, if you don't mind. Okay. So yeah, I really want you guys to I really want to read that article for you guys. And like I said, that is why I shared it on the screen. If you want to go back and read it yourself, please hit the Google search and type in Damon Young article 2017, straight black men are the white people of black people, and you can read the article for yourself. I did, however, um, read it in its entirety. And I wanted to share that article with you guys real quick, in particular, because of all the derogatory things that we hear, on a daily basis. We hear the He-Man women haters talking about everything from the color of our skin, because we know that many black men are the number one perpetrators when it comes to colorism. They think that if they get with and mate with the Anglo woman, they can breed out their blackness because they hate themselves. That is also the reason why I played the Malcolm X little excerpt that I played at the top of the video. And in reference to that article, as it pertains to that article, I wanted to mention that it would appear that the house Negro has gotten his revenge, okay? Because you have black men advocating more for Anglo women and more for the interests of the Anglo rather than the interests of his own community. When it comes to these black man woman haters, these self-haters, they say that they want to burn the community down. Okay, that is how they feel about you, and nothing that you do, black woman, we know is ever good enough for them. Whether you work, whether you don't work, whether you have kids, whether you don't have kids, whether you light or dark, whether you are educated, uneducated, whether they consider you, ratchet or I guess, what is the opposite of ratchet? Not ratchet or whatever. Whether you wear weave, whether you wear your afro, whether you wear makeup, whether you don't wear makeup, nothing is ever good enough for these He-Man black woman haters. Okay? And we out. Hold on, y'all. Let me get the troll. There's a troll. I got it right here. Hey, Rude Imp. How you doing? And so that is another reason why I want to read that article for you guys today. You guys let me know, what do you think about the article? Do you agree or disagree with that article? Marquis says not necessary. Some just fall in love. Unfortunately, history. Let me pause right here for a minute because I want to know what you guys that are in here this morning. Cloud, you made a great point. You know what I mean? You remember that live Divinely Country? I know that's right. What do you guys think? Like, if you guys are wasn't over there when I talked about this the first time, somebody mentioned in the chat like a little over a year ago, that some black men, gay and straight, perhaps are not the white people of the black people, but perhaps are overseers. Okay, and we know what the overseer does. He oversees, he at the time he was the overseer for the master when he was overseeing the slaves. He was watching over the slaves, make sure they done the right thing, and make sure they moved the right way, make sure they weren't calling for uprising and all of this and all of that. And we see many of that today, many of those things we see today when it comes to black men and males, right? They try to monitor your speech, and like I said, the black woman is never good enough for some of them. No matter what you do, they always want to try to beat you down with words because they feel inferior to you. Some of them, and they feel like some of them feel like you get more privilege because you are a woman, to the point to where a lot of black men, not all, but a lot of black men, unfortunately, have been emasculated to the point of assimilation. Not only to the point of assimilation, but some black men have chosen to want to be you. Okay, for a whole lot of reasons, right? They feel if they be you, some of them feel that if they become you or become as much like you as they can, that they will be under the guise of some kind of. I agree with that, free thinker. They feel like if they assimilate themselves into you or assimilate themselves into whiteness, they will be afforded some type of protection. And we know that that is not true, but this is the thinking of the emasculated man / male for some. Do you see what I'm saying? And yes, they try to attack your womanhood. They do everything they can to verbally online, anyway, beat you down or make you feel less than. It is because they feel less than for whatever reason, be it childhood trauma, be it white supremacy racism, be it they haven't achieved what they thought they needed to achieve. Whatever the reason is, they don't want to blame the actual cause of their emasculation. They want to blame it on you because they feel comfortable attacking you and your womanhood, okay, because they are afraid to attack the ones that they should be attacking. And we know what they should be attacking is white supremacy racism, okay, but they're afraid of that. And so for all these reasons, you have a lot of this stuff going on online, and it's bled offline, but it really has always been that way. Even in the 40s and 50s and 20s and 30s, when on up until before the Jim Crow era, even during slavery, you have seen a lot of black men try to assimilate because they think that it would afford them some type of protection. And what it does is it feeds into the master's plan, if you will, the plan of white supremacy racism. And it's gotten so bad in the 21st century to the point to where the Anglo doesn't have to oversee you. He doesn't have to enslave you. He doesn't have to. It is a systemic agenda, right? But it's so ingrained in our community that all he has to do is sit back and watch. And many of these men will do the work for them, okay? Because they don't realize that when you try to beat down the black woman, be it emotionally or physically or whatever way, when you try to beat down this black woman, black women and girls, you are really hurting your own race. But they are not worried about that. They are not worried about protecting you They are worried about their own self-preservation, not understanding the fact that in order to preserve your self to preserve yourself, you have to preserve the whole community, right? Because you are the men, and because of white male patriarchy, because you are a male, you fall under the guise of white male patriarchy. We know that a lot of black men really have undertaken the ways of white male patriarchy, and because you have been emasculated to the point to where you want to assimilate yourself into whiteness, you have been emasculated. You don't even understand that you have been defeated, okay? And because you have been defeated, your community as a whole, because you refuse to leave, has been defeated. Okay, let me read this. Alpha says, what is overlooked are the single households who are raising these men. It's not all on black men. Well, I disagree, because here's the thing. If you are a child living in a single a family home, and more times than not, it is the mother that's leading a household. Is she leading this household by choice? More times than not, no, she's not leading a household by choice. She doesn't have a choice but to lead the household. Okay, because the man is no longer there for whatever reason. Right? He's either no longer there because he don't want to be there, and he ain't never wanted to be there. He could be a breeder, like we have seen many breeders. Do you see what I'm saying? He's not there. He don't want the responsibility, not only in his own household, but also in his community. You have a lot of black men online saying, well, she won't let me leave. If you have to ask to lead, then you are not a leader. Okay, there are many reasons. At the bottom of that spectrum is a single family home, because we know as women, we don't always get to do what we want to do, but we always have to, especially if we are single mothers, you have to do what you have to do. So that is no excuse. I don't buy that excuse. They're being raised by these singles mom. There are a lot of men, more men than not, that are very successful, and they've come from a single family home. Okay, so that is not an excuse to me, an acceptable excuse for me, Alpha. That don't work for me. You see what I'm saying? And so I don't that's no excuse, right? You can choose to be involved in your child's life, whether you are in the home or not. Some men choose not to be involved in their child's life, whether they're in the home or not. They just simply choose not to be there. That is a choice. So if you're choosing not to be there for your children, do you see what I'm saying? If you choose not to lead your home and your family, what other choice is there for the woman to be the head of the household? There is no other choice. All right? And so that's just how I see it. Alpha says, well, why isn't the black man not there to raise their child? Who is teaching them? Well, the woman is there, and she's doing the best that she can. She can reach out, and find other groups of men to try to give input to her son. She is doing the best that she can. Okay, because she is not a man. But hopefully she is reaching out to other groups. Some women get their sons in sports. Just all kind of things, whatever she can do, to help raise that boy to be a productive man. So, but you are choosing not to be there, okay, more times than not. And then they turn around and complain about child support. Well, I gotta pay all this child support because you're not in the home doing what you're supposed to do. Okay, you have chosen to walk away from your responsibility. Okay, and then you want to turn around and try to blame it on the black woman because she is there raising your son when you refuse to do so. That is no excuse to me. I'm sorry. I don't agree with that. All right. Anyway, move right along. Let's get back to the audio, okay? Let's see. And this life we live in are sad. Not necessary. I don't know what you mean by that, Marquise. But anyway, yeah, what did you guys think about that article? Do you agree with some of it, none of it? What is your version of it? Milano said OxyV from YT. Yeah, yeah. Lachey said, "Dang, I got here at the end." Well, Lachey, I hope that you will go back and listen to the replay of the video because I read the 2017 Damon Young article titled "A Straight Black Men or the White People of Black People," and that's what we were discussing today. Jessica B says even the racially ambiguous women are put on pedestals, but our kinks, curls, naps, or coils are viewed as less than. Black women are beaten verbally, emotionally, etc. You're absolutely right, and that is in part the reason why. That is in part another reason why I read that article because we know that this is going on, and we know that. Hold on, let me pause it again. Got to answer, to respond to something. I agree with you, Claude. I agree. I agree. But Alpha says, all this is part of the long term effects of feminism within the black community. I disagree. That one black woman in the 70s who spoke against feminism was right. Well, in the first place, just like white male patriarchy has no place in the black community, feminism has no place in the black community. We prefer to call instead of feminism we say womanism, okay? Because our plights are different. So I will agree that feminism is not for the black woman, but womanism definitely is. And part of being part of the womanist movement is getting yourself away from or divesting from abuse, which is the reason why this video, I'm so glad that Free Thinker Amethyst reminded me of this video. Free Thinker Amethyst says, unless you are dead, you are responsible for your child. No excuse, period. I absolutely agree with that, period. Unless you are dead, you are responsible for your child, period. So, like, that is not a good excuse either. You can't, just you prefer not. If you prefer to shirk your responsibility, that is on you. Okay. And anyway, Candy can't say my kid's father was raised in a 2-parent household, and he didn't help raise our kids. Child, I was a single mother out here on my own. Exactly, Candy Cane. Just cause a man is there, don't mean he there. You have that too. You can be raised in a 2-parent home and still be in a single parent home, at the same dang time. Okay. And so, yeah, I agree with that. Lady Tia said, I'm so tired of just being called strong. We are so much more. Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree, Lady Tia. Free Thinker says, if it takes a man and a woman to make a child, then the same people are needed to raise the child. I agree. Unfortunately, there are men and women who can't love your child more than you dislike the other person. I absolutely agree with that part right there. I absolutely agree with that. You are absolutely right. Period. Okay. So anyway, let's listen to some more of the video. And like I said, once again, I'm so glad that Free Thinker brought this video back to my attention because there's so much more that I want to add to the conversation. Okay, that's why I keep interrupting the video. Okay. And so anyway, let's continue. Because of all of this anti-black hatred coming from our own people, that is in part the reason why the House Negro has had its revenge. Okay. Klaus said, I personally think that it should say some black men. Well, yeah, Claude, I mean, obviously, he can't speak for all black men because, like all black women, we are not a monolithic people. We do not all think and move the same way. Do you see what I'm saying? But I understand what you're saying. Klaus said, I personally think that he should say some straight black men, but I got what they are saying. Unfortunately, let me pause right there. Now I agree with this Alpha. Alpha says we need to peep the game. That's what we're doing. We're peeping the game. We need to peep the game that's been whipping our tails for decades. Right. Both black men and both black men and black women need each other to survive in America. You are absolutely right. That is why I don't understand. Thank you, Liz. That's why I don't understand. Neither one. You're absolutely right. Neither one are better. Neither one are better. You're absolutely right about that. No woman chooses to be a single mom. You can't unless there's some type of dysfunction, some type of abuse going on, you know. And but I absolutely agree. See, the plan is systemic. Okay, and like I said earlier, there has been a divide between the black man and the black woman. That divide was implemented during slavery. Okay, and people don't realize that. They don't realize the divide to peak game. Okay, they want to emasculate you, which they have done. Many of, not all, but a lot of people. Some men just willingly just lay down and roll over and take it. Do you see what I'm saying? But they want you to think that it's because the black woman is afforded all this protection. We know that the black woman is not afforded any more protection than the black man in this country, but they want you to think that. They want you to be divided, much like when it comes to the black and white thing. That is a part of the agenda also, right? Because we know that every day, working white folks and everyday working black folks, they are all under the system of white supremacy racism. The only thing is they don't understand. The Anglo doesn't understand that because they have been given a sense of unearned privilege. Okay, you can be doing better than they can do. They're doing, and you will still be the N-word. You can be a millionaire and you will still be the N-word. Do you see what I'm saying? I put a post on my community wall about that Kanye West interview that he did on I think it's called Drink Champs or something like that on Revolt TV. And Kanye feel like they coming after him. They're coming to kill him because he's now a billionaire, and now he want to speak up about what's going on. The powers that be that are systemically trying to eradicate, commit genocide on black people. Not only he did that, now he's paranoid about his own life, right? He's doing a Tupac, okay? Is there a heaven for a G? Not only that, you hear Jay-Z speaking out against that. Jay-Z think they coming to kill him too, because he chose to speak out. So no, man, it don't matter how much money you have, no much success, no matter what you've achieved. Do you see what I'm saying? In the eyes of them, because of unearned privilege, they still see you as the lowly N-word, okay, beneath them. And because they feel that you are beneath them, no matter how much wealth that you garner, you still got a target on your back. That's why you see people like Jay-Z and the Kanye West saying they coming to get me. They're real paranoid, right? If you speak up, nobody wants to martyr themselves these days. We have no, hey, Miss Alfredo, hey, Alpha, hey, everybody that joined. Though we have no more. The day of the black leader is gone, and a lot of people be grasping at straws online, looking for people to lead them, especially when it comes to men. We are looking for that one man that can lead us into revolution. Like we were almost on the cusp of revolution, during the civil rights era. Martin Luther King, unfortunately, he dropped the ball. We're going to talk about that too. Malcolm X, we know that all these men had to martyr themselves, and we're still no further than we were before. Even as recent as like a Tupac, they killed Tupac. Now they try to say, well, it was an East Coast, West Coast thing. Anytime you have a black man willing to speak up for his people, something will happen to him. Okay, you got blood rituals going on these days because they done made deals and they twerking around over there in the synagogue of Satan. And you made all these deals, and now you think they're coming for you. But if you wouldn't have made them deals in the first place, then you would have stood firm, and held and been steadfast. Perhaps your own community would have afforded you some type of protection. We've seen many of these men suspiciously die. What about and I'm just not only in the entertainment genre, but a lot of them are killed in the entertainment genre if they want to step up and start speaking the truth. You see what I'm saying? We only have a few leaders left, whether you like them or not. There's only a few of the old heads left, and they are now so old to the point to where they are no longer perceived as being a threat, but some of them are. Look what they did to Bill Cosby after all these years. Even when he started speaking out against black people, they wanted to pay him back when he spoke up for black people, you know, in the late 60s and 70s. Do you see what I'm saying? They still slapped him down. Do you see what I'm saying? And so you got people now, you had during the what is it, the Ahmaud Arbery trial. We talked about that the other day, when one of the attorneys for one of the Arbery's killers got up and said, "There's too many black pastors in the courtroom." You know, and he was speaking. He didn't even know. Somebody told him that Al Sharpton was in the courtroom. He didn't even know Al Sharpton was in the courtroom. Do you see what I'm saying? Somebody told him about it the other day. It was yesterday or the day before. I seen Jesse Jackson. I think it was yesterday or the day before. Like I said, Jesse Jackson was in the courtroom. Poor little Jesse, he about to die. You know, he looked like he got 1.5 foot in the grave, but he's now trying to do the right thing, where he dropped the ball because of his ego years and years ago. You see what I'm saying? He sold out, and now he wants to try to do the right thing when he is knocking on heaven's door or whatever, if you will. Do you see what I'm saying? And so hip hop nowadays over sexualize our women, and set the image of our men as being done. You're absolutely right about that. You're absolutely right about that. No, absolutely, it is an agenda, right? Because we know that is an agenda, because we know that at one point in time, the black woman was the epitome of femininity, the epitome of self-respect, the epitome of dignity. So via all this entertainment and all this twerking and booty shaking and whatever you got going on these days, because of that, they have allowed black women, the music industry, to put forth an image of the Jezebel. The black woman is the Jezebel, or what they used to call it, a sapphire. Do you see what I'm saying? And so it's just unfortunate. You know what I mean? But they even do that as a means of an agenda, because they want to beat you down to lift them up. Do you see what I'm saying? You have to know who you are. You have to know who you are. You can't let anything online or offline sway you and trick you out of who you are. You know, and unfortunately, especially when it comes to young women these days, because nobody wants to look at, there are far more women that are out here doing the thing, educated, goal, career-minded, not booty shaking and twerking on top of a table or something. Those women don't get uplifted. Those women don't get highlighted. But then you can get these women that don't do nothing but twerk and do whatever else, and strip naked, dang near naked on Instagram. All of those types of women are uplifted. And then the alpha said that they want the picture of the man, of the black man only being the thug. You see what I'm saying? They are not, they don't even, that is a trope. That is like a stereotype. They are not, as long as you are acting like a thug, or as long as you a quote unquote thug, and I mean acting like, really, not really, but acting like, because we no longer, we're going to speak about this in the video, we no longer have a warrior class, right? And so the reason why they want you to be depicted as a thug, that is a trick of the mind, because we know a lot of these rappers or they're either hyper masculine, which is very toxic, or gay. Do you see what I'm saying? And so they would depict the rapper as the thug, right? The word is backwards, right, Liz? Because that doesn't bother them anymore, because they feel like they've conquered the black man anyway. So it's just like you being painted up as a clown. Do you see what I'm saying? They can put any face they want to put on you these days, and it's not gonna bother them. But if somebody rise up and want to be revolutionary, like a who done got killed lately, like a Nipsey Hussle, he started speaking out and wanting to garner wealth for the black community, right? All of a sudden, he gone. You know what I mean? Anytime you get one black man that's wanting to get up and speak up for his community, all of a sudden something is going to happen to him. And like I said, that's why you got the Kanye and the Jay-Z and those types, thinking that the people is coming after him. Do you see what I'm saying? And so, yeah, it don't make no sense. But anyway, let's listen to a little bit more of the video, okay? The so-called manosphere is pushed almost like the gay agenda. I absolutely agree, Claude. You're absolutely right. Okay, I'm gonna check it out. Okay, thank you, Lachey. Shame on them. But anyway, I also want to play something else for you guys from Brother Malcolm X. I don't want to hold you guys too long, but I really pretty much wanted to just read that article, to you for your consideration, because it doesn't seem like this anti-black woman rhetoric is going to die down anytime soon. We are seeing more and more every day the rise of the black identity, what I call the black identifying incel extremists. Do you see what I'm saying? If they want to, and then when we talk about the black incel on YouTube, I have heard some black men saying that, well, they're not going to take this online. They're really not going to do nothing to black women. And that is absolutely not true, because we have witnessed a incel in the past couple of years ago, taking the rhetoric offline. He was a staunch supporter of Sergeant Willie P., which is one of the first promoters of this anti-black woman rhetoric. He was also mentally ill, and because he was mentally ill, there was a black female, a young black girl on YouTube making videos also at the same time. Her name was Asia McGowan. And this man felt like he had so much hate, and what he was undergoing was obsession. You see what I'm saying? Stalkerism. He was an online incel stalker, in my opinion. And because of his mental illness, his stalkerism, his incelism, listening to this rhetoric, letting it eat away at his brain, he killed Asia McGowan in a college classroom. So when they tell you that this anti-black woman rhetoric won't be taken offline, that is a lie, because it has already been taken offline before. And even and another reason why, like I said it once, I say it again, part of the reason why you have so many black men angry with black women is not only because they're jealous, because they think the white man is giving you a pat on the back because he thinks that the white man prefers you. It is also because he can't beat you with impunity anymore like he used to, because if he puts his hands on you and you call the police, that white man is going to lock him up for domestic violence. So he doesn't have you to use as a punching bag anymore. And it really breaks my heart when I see women really feeding into something like colorism, or really feeding into anything that comes out of their mouth. Do you see what I'm saying? Because if somebody is speaking ill about you, it says more about them than it does you. You simply do not have to listen, and you absolutely should never internalize this type of madness. Do you see what I'm saying? I've heard people this morning. Well, I've had to delete a couple of comments. I had to delete a couple of comments this morning from a couple of people, a couple of men that were upset about the video that I made last night about Kobe Bryant. Okay, now it is unfortunate if you don't agree with me. Okay, but really, what did I say that was a lie? Okay, you advocated, and then a lot of people, a lot of the problem that the black community has is we love our athletes and our entertainers, and we think that they can do no wrong. Okay, there are people just like we are. Okay, but why nobody? Was it such an uproar when Kobe Bryant, was really not understanding of what had happened to Trayvon Martin, when he said that first he's gonna have to see all the evidence before he decided what steps he would make. And then when a few black got upset with him, he then took a photo op and put on a hooded shirt, took a photo with the Martins, and put it on a shirt, a Trayvon Martin shirt. And then after that, he was done with it. And after that, the black folks calmed down. He got a photo op. They were satisfied with it. Whether he cared or not is really not important. He put on the semblance of caring. Do you see what I'm saying? And then we were satisfied. Again, we are so easily led astray, and we are so easily impressed, by the very least among us till it's ridiculous. Do you see what I'm saying? But I don't hear anybody talking about the fact that, he was not even speaking to his parents at the time of his death. I don't hear anybody, and they always want to quote the Bible when they want to throw something that they think that you're doing wrong, black woman, in your face. They want to start quoting the Bible, especially the Hebrew Israelites. But what about that little part in the Bible that says, honor thy father and mother, for thy days may be lengthened? What about that little part? Huh? They go around talking something. Well, you can't check that man's pockets. You can't. Black people think you owe them something. I don't think nobody owe me nothing, and I ain't checking nobody's pockets. But as it pertains to generational wealth, we know that black men on a continual basis, when they get a little change, they feel like they want a trophy, and the first thing they do is go find them a Becky. And when he passed away or whatever, his generational wealth is not taken. Is not poured back into the black community. It is put into that Anglo community, and that's just a fact. But see, a lot of people also don't even realize that it's just all a setup anyway. It is set up to be that way. Because the reason why your community is in a situation that it is right now is not even because of something that's gone on recently. A lot of people want to blame it on the crack epidemic. In fact, that is not true. The reason why your black community is in the way that it is because it was a setup. The civil rights movement, the inner workings of the civil rights movement, the Anglo set you up. Because the Anglo wanted your black dollars. They said, okay, they want to be able to sit in our restaurants and to sit on the front of our buses. We're going to let them so they can get their black money. Because money is power. Land is power. And at the onslaught of the civil rights movement, and outdoing the civil rights movement at first, black communities were segregated. And because our black communities were segregated, we had our own businesses, we had our own bus lines, we had a growing, budding economy. Our communities were growing. But because the black man has always sought the pat on the head from the white man, because he want to sit at his restaurant and eat with him and live beside him, because he thinks that the white man ice has always been colder, we fought for our civil and human rights. But were we fighting for our civil and human rights, or were we fighting to live beside them and eat with them and sleep with them? Okay? And at first the white man didn't appreciate it. Then he said, hold on, wait a minute. I can get his black dollars. Let me go on. I'm intimidated that his community is growing and thriving because his black dollars are staying in his own black community, because they have their own stores and their own public transportation systems and their own schools and their own hospitals and their own colleges. The black dollar is not coming out of the black community fast enough. And if we continue to let them allow them to be segregated, the black dollar is only going to get stronger and stronger. That means that they will be able to compete with us in the market on Wall Street eventually. And if we leave them segregated long enough, they will be able to compete with us globally. So let's go on and give them the right to sit beside us in a restaurant. Let's go on and give them. Let me pause right here for a minute, because I meant every word of that. And the coldest heart said, yes, integration was a big mistake. I agree with that, but at the time, many of our elders felt like that integration was a must, and but they were striving for the wrong thing. In my opinion, what they should have been working towards was not integration, but yes, absolutely we were fighting for our civil and human rights, but we should have also been fighting for separate but equal. And time has proven that what we should have been fighting for was not integration, but separate but equal. Islam says it's self-sufficient. That's why. That's right. You're absolutely right, Liz. we should have been fighting for, like I said, our civil and human rights, right? Because we are all human beings. We are not 3/5 of a human being, but also I do not feel like we should have been fighting for integration. I feel like we should have been fighting for separate but equal. But here's the thing. Absolutely, that's all they want is our black dollars, and they realize that. And there's another part of Malcolm's speech that I'm going to play for you guys. One part in particular that I want you guys to listen to. But it shows in this speech, Malcolm is telling, in that part of the speech, Malcolm is going to be telling us how and when the civil rights movement was usurped, when it was overtaken by the Anglo, and it was overtaken by the Anglo for less than $1 million. Okay, less than $1 million back in that day could have been now had they held fast and held to what they said they were trying to do in the community. A lot of what's going on still today in our community, what was going on back then, wouldn't have been happening. Okay, because we would have gotten what we wanted if we could have waited, if we could have launched a true revolution. But unfortunately, at a fair, those black men that were leading us led us down the wrong path, and I'll know what Dr. King said about leading his people into a burning house. There's a reason why he said that. Okay. Alpha said, I think our community should have got reparations, right, in the form of free college education and land, also free mental health treatment from the long-term mental effects of slavery. You're right about that. I agree. I don't know if they would have been thinking along the lines of a free college education, because we had many black colleges back then. And as far as mental health, it is not until really recently 10, 15, maybe even 20 years that the black community has started even paying attention to our mental health. Do you see what I'm saying? So yeah, Dakota said every time we build without them, they come and burn it down, literally. Yes, they do, because they are afraid. They do not want us to compete, and we see that time and time again. Do you see what I'm saying? That's why I agree that we should have been fighting for our civil and human rights. We should have been fighting for our human rights along the lines of, let us live separately. We are not bothering you. Why are you coming over here and bothering us? Okay, and we always point out the number one example, which is Black Wall Street. Okay, the black community was thriving, the black dollar was circulating, people's generational wealth was growing. They got intimidated by it, and what they did, they put out a false claim that one black man from the community raped an Anglo woman, and that gave them, hey, Augusta, and that gave them permission, which was a lie, but that gave them permission to burn down the whole community. And not only burn it down, they also bombed it. Do you see what I'm saying? That is how intimidated they were, by us. Do you see what I'm saying? But by that time, and since then, when it came time for the civil rights movement, a lot of our black leaders at the time felt like integration was key. Not Malcolm X, though. He knew that integration was not key. But of course nobody is going to listen to him, because he wasn't speaking of a kumbaya moment. You know what I mean? He wasn't speaking in terms of one day we're gonna look over the mountain and our black men and black children and our black boys and our little black girls, and we know the speech, right? He wasn't speaking in those terms. He was speaking in terms of revolution. Okay. Yeah. But anyway, let's listen to a little bit more of this so we can get on to the. But like I said, here in a few minutes, we're gonna listen to the other part, a little bit more of Malcolm's speech, because he points out the time in which our black leaders unfortunately sold out the whole black civil rights movement for less than $1 million, and not only sold out the movement, but sold out the people. Okay, unfortunately. Now, let's continue listening, y'all. I'll save it to when we get to it. Hold on. Give them the right to sit beside us on the bus, because when we give them the right to come in our communities, in our establishments, they would give all their black dollars to our economic system. Their business will start to fail. Their communities will start to dwindle. So, okay, give them what they want so that we can get what we want. See, that is the issue. That is what really was going on during the time of the civil rights movement. It wasn't about you. You don't have the civil and human rights that you have right now because of their humanity. Because we know in that community, there is no humanity. You have the little bit of freedoms that you have right now because they wanted your black dollars. They wanted to stop you from being able to compete. So when you hear all these arguments about people being insensitive to the tragedy that befell Mr. Bryant, you know, why aren't you being that, why aren't you protecting, and speaking out about the travesty that's going on in your community every day? Why aren't you devastated about that? Why aren't you devastated? I heard more people talking about Mr. Bryant's tragedy than I heard about the tragedy of those two little black boys, those two little teenagers, black boys, that are being forced to cut off the dreads if they want to walk across the stage in graduation, or if they want to not be suspended in school anyway. And because their mother won't allow the white man to emasculate them, they don't get to graduate and they don't get to go back to school. So you're holding their education hostage. Where's the outcry for those little boys? Because see, they haven't passed away. They're still alive. Their mother is trying to fight for them not to be emasculated. Okay? Trying to fight for them not to have to assimilate into the house Negro. Okay? Because like I said, we no longer collectively have a warrior class in the black community. We no longer have the Malcolm X in the community or the Khalid Muhammad's in the black community. We no longer have that collectively. But we do have a collective bunch of house Negroes, okay, working hard and politicking hard in his own community. Number one, politicking hard against the black woman, politicking hard to save yourself, black man. Save yourself from what? Save yourself from them Beckys, like that Becky that called you the N-word, that called Kobe Bryant the N-word online last night on MSNBC. Is that what you saving yourself from? Okay. But this commentary right here, as well as the article that I read, is to tickle the ears of the black woman. Okay? Because Malcolm X already told us, and I agree, we are the most unprotected. Okay? And the most disrespected. All right? But we don't have to join in with the house Negro. Okay? We can be the Amazon, the ancient Amazon of our African female ancestors that won wars against the British when they try to come in and steal their babies and their husbands and turn them into slaves. Because we know that if our community is going to be saved, it's going to have to be us. So when you hear the house Negro online over in O'Shea chat or in the Black Manosphere or BG Ilmore or whoever, whatever they call themselves, the incel, when you hear them speaking derogatorily about the color of your skin or the fact that if you're a single mom or not, okay? Don't worry about it. Laugh at them, their whole joke. I do. I can't take. Let me pause right there. Now, we know that all this stuff is still going on right now, like I said, in the black sector. And the reason why, the other side of the black sector, the reason why I wanted to revise the title, because it is spread out, even in the beef sector, you hear this anti-black woman rhetoric, okay? And it is predominantly in the beef sector, we have a lot of gay black men that speak very derogatorily of black women. And it's not only, and then if you listen closely, sometimes it's not, it goes beyond beefing. When it goes beyond beefing, it goes off into rhetoric and hate speech. Now we see a lot of that over here as well. So that is why I revised the title, and I titled it such as I did this time, to are black men / and males, you meaning gay and straight, the white people are the overseers of black people. Okay, because like I said, white supremacy racism doesn't have to attack you straight ahead in their own form anymore. You have a lot of black men doing that for them. All they have to do is sit back and watch. Okay, and when I said a little over a year ago that black women are going to have to be, if we want our community to be saved, we're going to have to save it ourselves. I don't even feel the same way about that as I did over a year and a half ago. I now feel that it is not our responsibility to try to save a community that cannot be saved, but what you can save are those black males and those little black girls and those little black boys in your own home, in your own family. Okay, you can raise them up with a sense of pride. You can raise your little black girls and your little black boys to be the warrior class, okay? Because they are the future, all right? And so if you don't want them to continue to be emasculated, or your little girls to be over-sexualized and put in harm's way repeatedly because of much of the rhetoric that's online, and I gave you some examples about about how they have taken this rhetoric and have gone online and they are attacking their doxing via Google and whatever else form. They're doxing and finding out where you live, and how you live, and want to come to your very home and attack you. Right? And Paris Milan, like I said, showed us several examples. Especially, it shocked me when she showed that video of that black YouTuber, that black female YouTuber, when the black guy came to her door trying to get in her home, and he had gloves on and zip ties and stuff. Right? So I don't know if he wanted to abduct her or kill her in her home. But in part, it's because of all this rhetoric that they're hearing online, and they're feeling emboldened because they got you thinking that the black woman, and we know that we are unprotected when it comes to the black man or male, but we are not unprotected when it comes to ourselves. We are not unprotected when it comes to us saving ourselves, black women, okay? Because we know that is what we have to do. And for that reason, that is why I said that you don't have to allow your young girls or your young boys, you don't have to allow your young boys to be emasculated. You can raise him to be in a warrior class, even if he's in a warrior class by himself with his brothers or his cousins and his siblings, as well as your little black girls. You can raise them to be in the warrior class as well. Why? Because we don't have a choice. Okay? We don't have a lot of black men or males that are in a position mentally to protect us. So we have to do that for ourselves. And while we're doing it for ourselves, we cannot forget to raise our black children, boys and girls, to do the same thing. We simply do not have a choice. But it's not our responsibility to resuscitate a community that is chosen to lay down and roll over. Okay? T. Walker says, femicide has risen amazingly high. Yes, absolutely, T. Walker. We spoke about that earlier. You're right about that, baby. I absolutely agree. Energy Mattress says, why should we continue to give birth to them? But now see, that's that Cynthia G talk. Now, I don't agree with aborting black boys or black girls because of whatever reason she over there talking about. I don't agree with that because that is genocide. Okay, I'm not talking about any form of genocide when it comes to black boys, especially because they are the seed, and because we got a whole lot of dysfunction going on right now. It doesn't mean that us women can't turn it around. Do you see what I'm saying? You can turn it around, and like I said, you are not responsible when it comes to saving your whole community, but you are responsible from what comes from you. You are responsible for your family as well as what comes from you, what you create. Okay, just as every other race of people, we don't have to resort to genocide. That don't make sense to me. I don't agree with that. I'm not for abortion, but we should seriously be considered. No, I don't agree with that. This is us saving ourselves, and I understand whatever it is that Cynthia's saying over there. I don't agree with, because she ain't nothing but a race hustler. Is that where you're coming from? And I don't agree with that. And that is not even her own. That is not even her own rhetoric that she spouted. She stole it from Brooklyn Blue. Because you can teach them. They are not. That's right. You can teach them. That's right. You can teach them not to be emasculated. You can teach them to be in the warrior class. Okay. You can teach them not to just lay down and take anything from anybody. Do you see what I'm saying? And so Energy Mattress says closing our legs to them if they are not actively providing and protecting us is our solution, denying them our womb. Now I can understand that argument. If that argument, what you're talking is making better choices, and that is holding yourself accountable. See, a lot of women, unfortunately, some women, unfortunately, do not want to be accountable for who they procreate with. Do you see what I'm saying? Because you lead with your heart and not your mind, and you do open your legs too quickly. You have to learn to make better choices. Now, when it comes to the woman making better choices, it is on her. You have to be accountable for your womb, because that is your womb. Okay? You ain't got to open your legs to anything that smile at you. You ain't got to do that. You got to be accountable for yourself. Okay, so and choosing and then saying it's an easy way out to say, well, should they even be born? Yes, they should be born. They should. Why shouldn't they be born? Just because you made a bad choice? Just because you didn't take the time to do your research? Because you didn't take the time to really know who it was that you're dealing with before you lay down with them? Your womb, your responsibility, your choice. Do you see what I'm saying? And to just preach abortion is a form of what did she call it? What did Nala call it? She called it whatever it was that she called it is ridiculous. Okay, you are responsible for your own womb. At the end of the day, black woman. All right, unless somebody has molested you or raped you, you're responsible for your own life choices. See, it takes two to tangle. You ain't got to lay down with that man and procreate with that man just because you think, because he said he gonna beat her. He need to prove that he gonna beat her. You don't prove you gonna beat her by the words that come out of your mouth, or by when he's whispering sweet nothings to you when you land with him in the bed. Okay, that's not proving that he gonna beat her. That ain't telling me nothing. You know, actions speak louder than words. And if you're not patient enough to see what he's going to do instead of what he's going to say, that is on you. That is not the baby's fault. I disagree. You know, keep birthing those who hate. Keep hating. She says, keep birthing those who hate us. Keep birthing our murderers. If you birth them, you don't have to raise them to hate us. You don't have to raise them to murder us. See, that is a choice as well. You have to actually be there to teach them not to be that way. That's all that I'm trying to say. You see what I'm saying? Leave them dudes alone. Leave them dusties alone. You know, make better choices. You know, make better choices because you have more dignity and respect for yourself to lay down with a dusty. It takes two to tangle. I'm not going to lay it all at the feet of the black man. I'm not going to do that because we are the one birthing the babies. You got to make better choices. Period. So Energy Mattress says, and I'm glad you on it too. I'm glad you're on it. Energy Mattress says black men have more of an influence over black boys' minds. We see that right today in actions than black women. Now it doesn't have to be that way. It does not have to be that way. Including mothers, In my own home, I went to college, and my brother went to prison. We were raised the same. Well, now see, that is a choice. Now, if you went to college, you made the right choice. You went to college. You want to further your education. You want to be, a productive citizen. Your brother, on the other hand, he was in a home with the black mama and the black daddy. He probably had too much freedom to get with his so-called friends and his homies, then more than likely he was a follower and not a leader. Now, in my family, I choose to teach the men in our family. We all do in my family. We choose to teach them to be leaders and not followers. Okay, you are in control of your own destiny. Do you see what I'm saying? And so, I'm sure your mom and dad did the best they could with both of y'all, and he chose to go opposite the way that you went. That is a him choice. Okay, that is not on your parents. That is not on you. That is him choosing to go the wrong way. All right, but if you can raise them up and teach them to be accountable for their actions. Okay, to teach them, like I said, to be leaders, to teach them to be upstanding citizens, to teach them to be respectful of the opposite sex, to teach them dignity and honor. Do you see what I'm saying? You can turn it all around. It doesn't always have to be one or the other, if you see what I'm saying. That's right. Teach is the key. Teach is the key. You always have to have more influence. If you are not strong enough as a woman or a man, as a mother or a father, to have more influence on your kids than the world does, then you are not doing your job. Okay? And I don't mean no harm. You can have a 2-parent home. Okay? You can have a single parent home. You have to have more control over your children than the world does. That is your responsibility. Okay? Because you don't have a choice around here but to do the right thing. Okay? Because if I even wake up in the middle of the night in a cold sweat thinking that you want to do the wrong thing, I'm going to ride your ass. Okay? Because the street will not have none of mine. The streets won't have no kind of influence over mine more than me. I've simply refused to do so. And it is a tiresome job. And sometimes you got to go in the bathroom and you got to cry. Okay? But you got to be strong. All right? You don't have a choice. Because you don't want to give the world your child. You don't want to give your son over to the prison industrial complex, or you don't want to give him over to death, because that's what they want you to do. That's what the system wants you to do. So you have to take hold of them. You always got to have more control over your child, okay, than the world does. All right? Because if it wasn't for my whole family having more control over me than the world did, ain't no telling where I would have been today. I deserve every whooping I got. I deserve every talking to. I got every verbal lashing, every physical lashing. I deserve all of it, every last bit of it, because it made me into the high-riding bitch that I am today. Okay? I will never be a follower. I will always be a leader. Always. Always. Always be a leader. I will never let nobody lead me. Ever. Now I will compromise. I've learned to compromise, okay, because I'm married. I've chosen to compromise, but I don't have to if I don't want to. All right? And my daddy and my mama taught me that. I ain't got to compromise. I ain't got to do a motherfucking thing but live free and die if I don't want to. And that's how you have to teach your children, in my opinion. You always have to have more control over your child than the world does. I refuse. I can't see it any other way. I refuse. Can't have mine. No, ma'am. It's not going to work for me. Anyway, I didn't mean to go there. But anyway, move right along. Energy Mattress said mothers aren't raising sons to hate black women. These males flock to the manosphere seeking male validation. And get told hating black women is the solution. Well, that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate if they're choosing to do that. Once again, you got to have more control over them than the world. The manosphere is the world. You are the mother. Lady Tia said once they get older and they're grown. And now, that's true, Lady Tia. Now, once they get grown, Once they get grown, it is out of your hands. But while they're in your house, you can do the best you. Let me tell you something. Um, One problem that we have in this community is that we all have lost those mothers. Think like you, Miss. Thank you, Miss Alfreda. But I don't think that I'll go. I just think that some of them don't know what to do. See, baby, those bathroom cries. I give it up in the. I know that's right. The coldest heart. Yeah, absolutely. I even now, you know what I mean. When it comes to shoot, especially my nephews, I can't tell you how many times I went in the bathroom and cried. Do you see what I'm saying? My husband then came in there and asked me what was wrong with me. Do you see what I'm saying? And I done told him what I done had to say. You know what I mean? And then he'll try to go back behind me, and clean it up. You know, half the time I don't even tell him what I had to do. I let him tell. I just I had a bad day. He gonna find out anyway. But still, Can y'all hear me now? I'm having connection issues. Oh, Lord. Child, this is getting on my nerves. Somebody let me know if you can hear me, okay? Oh, you can hear me now. Okay. I don't know what's going on. I hate to get on this computer because every time I get on here, I have some kind of connection issue going on. And it's truly horrible. I am so sorry, y'all. I am sorry. I was on the road too, right? Lost my whole train of thought. So anyway, I hate to do this. I had to. The only reason why I had to log on this computer today is because I wanted to play this video for y'all. I don't even know if I should finish now or just wrap it up. Okay. Nimby said, "Thank you for rejecting our gender stuff." I absolutely reject it. You know what I mean? I'm sorry, y'all, for the connection issues. It just went out on me. It just. I don't know if it's StreamYard or my internet connection. It's more than likely it's StreamYard though, because they've been having problems for a couple of days now, from what I understand. Do you see what I'm saying? But anyway, if y'all can hear me, yeah, we can continue because I really wanted to get to one specific part of this video. I just maybe I fast forwarded. I don't know. It's not my connection. Do you think it's StreamYard? Y'all can still hear me, right? Hit the one if you can still hear me. I don't know if I need to close or not at this point. Lord, I hate to be doing a video and not be able to finish the video. That bothers me. Okay, so y'all can still hear me. So I'm gonna fast forward a little bit of this. Then I'm gonna get to the point that I want to get to. But I think we got the general idea when it comes to the conversation of are black men / males, gay and straight black men and white people of black people, meaning are they doing the work of are black men gay and straight? Some of them doing the work of the system of white supremacy in their own dang on community. And in my opinion, the answer is yes. Do you see what I'm saying? But I don't agree with anything like the genocide of our own people. What I believe in, T. Walker says anything positive or elliptic messages, something always goes wrong with that stream. I know, right, T. Walker? If I'm talking nonsense, honey, if I'm cussing somebody, yeah, or something like that, my stream not only will go just fine, it'll be monetized and everything. Okay. This video right here, it ain't even gonna be monetized. All right, I wouldn't even try it, because I'm not cussing somebody out. I'm not trying to beef with somebody. Back and forth. I'm not trying to give my energy away to the energy vampires. You know what I mean? I'm trying to speak life and not death. And so for that reason, I'm gonna have some connection issues. Imagine that. But you're exactly right about that, T. Walker. I noticed that too. It's crazy. It's crazy. But that's what's going on. But let me show. I'm gonna fast forward because I do want to show this last little part of what Brother Malcolm said, and I want to expound on it. But I think we all get the point that I was trying to make, and the point I'm trying to make, and y'all hit the yes or no. The point I'm trying to make that is, in my opinion, yes. Some of our black men, gay and straight, are the gatekeepers, or the overseers, or the white people, or black people in the black community. Okay, and we see evidence of that online. Do you see what I'm saying? And that's just the way that I see it. It's becoming more self-evident for me every day. We see it jumping off of the internet, and we're seeing it in our reality. Do you see what I'm saying? Hit the one if you agree with that. Like I said, some, not all. But it seems that the overall, when it comes to the internet, you have a lot of anti-black woman rhetoric being spouted on a continuous basis every day, in my opinion. And so, like I said, I'm gonna try to if y'all can still hear me, child, fast forward in this video to the point I'm trying to make. So I'm gonna have to try to reshare my screen. Thank you, T. Walker, for letting me know that you can still hear me. Let me try to share my screen again so I can get to the point that I want to get to. And then we can, because I don't know how much longer this stream is going to allow me to do what I needed to do. But like I said, if I was on here talking nonsense, I wouldn't have a problem. We all know that. That's why I wouldn't be comfortable with them policing the community either. If it came to, I agree with that, Dakota. So I agree. I agree. Sure do. Okay, so let me try to share the screen again, and I'm gonna fast forward it to the part that I want to get to. Let's see if we can share it one more time. And so yeah. Once again, I'm so glad that I had a chance to revisit this conversation. I really am. Let's see here. Take you seriously. If you want to destroy your community in order to get a pat, if y'all can hear that, getting a pat in the back, if y'all can hear that, getting a pat on the back from White Zaddy, if you're willing to go that far to put your black woman in danger, I can't take you seriously. But like I said, gone are the days of the Malcolm X. We no longer have a warrior class in this country. And it's just a fact. All right? That's right, Lachey. I agree with you. And it's like the poem, Ain't I a Woman? I absolutely agree with you, Lachey. Thank you, Lady Tia, for the super chat. I always stand strong. Lady Tia was here a year ago, too. Thank you, Lady Tia. I appreciate you. My girl. But anyway, I want to play something else because I just wanted to give you guys something to think about. And I hope you guys will do like Lachey. Go look up that article for yourself or hit that, replay button and listen to me read it to you again, as well as, follow along on the screen. And just consider what it is that the brother was trying to tell us. All white men, in fact, are straight black men, or some straight black men. In fact, now the white people are black people. Do they dismiss what is going on with us? The harassments, the assaults that are going on with us. Do they dismiss that? Because they simply do not care. We know a lot of them don't care. But and since they dismissing our plight, do we have to continue to march for them? Because our lives matter too. Because they seem to be only worried about White Zaddy. Okay? To the point to where he's willing to, in his own words, burn your black community down. Okay? So what are we going to do? Are we going to continue to have blows thrown, verbal blows thrown at us? Are we going to continue to, or are we going to start standing and not paying attention to them? Okay? That's what I want to know. Do you see what I'm saying? Because I sat around and I listened to a whole lot of the videos. A couple of them. Oh, these black women are insensitive about Kobe Bryant. Okay. And what? That is the question that I asked. But anyway, I want to play you a little bit of this on my way out the door. A little bit of this speech. Let's hear some more from Malcolm X. Okay, and if you haven't hit the like button, please hit the like button. But Brother Malcolm, we no longer have any more Malcolm X's in our community. And since the black man collectively is emasculated, since they already try to say we are not feminine and we act like men anyway, are we going to have any other choice but to protect ourselves like the black man is supposed to be protecting us? Because the only thing he worried about protecting right now is that Anglo woman and his White Zaddy. And yeah, I agree. Lachey is sad but true. So anyway, let's listen to what Brother Malcolm has to say about the house Negro and the field Negro. That's what I say, Miss Olivia, too. Absolutely, Linda. It is sad but true. But it's facts upon facts upon facts, okay? And it's unfortunate that it is what it is. But what I'm tired of, before I roll this tape, what I'm tired of is our women online listening to anything that these clowns have to say, because I can't take you seriously. And I don't want y'all to be taking them seriously either. Okay? Don't nobody care. They holler, the black man, the black woman, excuse me, in a couple of years, no black man is going to fool with no black woman, and she going to be in trouble. She going to starve to death. You know what I got to say about that? As long as you got a vagina in between your legs and a brain in your head, black woman, you will never starve. Okay? You will never starve. And you ain't going to die from loneliness. Okay? Because if they don't want you, you shouldn't want them anyway. And they really think we care about them going their own way. I would offer to give you some money to buy you a plane ticket to the DR, but I don't give money to men. Okay? Men give money to me. But all right. You see how that works?
No, I didn't.
Anyway, let me read this real fast. Yeah. Alicia said it's sad what happened to him. But he's a stranger to me. I save my tears for those close to me. Claus said Malcolm left the Nation of Islam in large part due to the mistreatment of a lot of the women in the Nation of Islam by Brother Elijah Muhammad. You're absolutely right. You are absolutely right, Claus. You are absolutely right. So anyway, guys, let me play a little bit of this. This is Malcolm X's speech titled "The House Negro and the Field Negro." You guys, please hit the like button if you will.
Understand this, you have to go back to what young brother here referred to.
Hold on, y'all, for a minute. I just want to chime in on the Coldest Heart and Lady Tears conversation. And Nova, welcome Nova. Yeah, I think it's okay to let our boys express themselves. You know, gone are the days. I think it's doing a disservice to our boys. I talked about this a little while ago. We're not allowing them to do things like cry and express their emotions. I think that it stifles them. It hardens them in a way to where they won't be able to gain any type of emotional intelligence. You know, that whole boys don't cry sort of thing. I think that it stifles them mentally as well. It is not their responsibility to always, have to be strong for everybody, especially when they're kids. It is not their responsibility to be the man of the house. I hate when people tell their boys and their little boys, you are the man of the house now. You are not the man of the house. Okay, you are a child. And you have a right to be a child. And part of that is expressing your emotions. So I will agree with y'all when you're having a conversation about, teaching boys that is very beneficial. It's very helpful for them to express themselves in every way. Because you don't be wanting to raise, a hyper masculine male, a male that is afraid to show his emotion. Do you see what I'm saying? That is the problem. That is one problem that we have had in the past through every community. That whole boys don't cry thing. They can't express emotion. They are workhorses and all of this and all of that. Those are days of old because we now know that in order to be a well-rounded individual, part of that is expressing your emotions, And so I agree with that. I also don't agree with that do as I say and that not as I do thing. I don't agree with that because everybody has a right to their own opinion. We are all individuals. Now, my opinion when you are a child is going to outweigh your opinion because what I say goes still. But I'm at least going to oh shoot, I got an Amber Alert. Good God. Child, if these people don't stop, if they don't leave these people kids alone, I'm telling you, what is going on? You have a right to express your opinion. That is another way to raise a mentally sound child. To give him his opinion. Do you see what I'm saying? And so, Claude, I hope she's doing okay. it's good to let it out before the pain take over their life. And I absolutely agree with that, Nova. I absolutely agree with that. I absolutely agree with that. We can go wrong in a lot of ways. You have to be careful when you're raising your boys. You also have to be careful when you're raising your girls, but you have to be especially careful, when it comes to raising your boys. Even if the father's in the home, you can't even let him, go too far with the boys on pride thing. With the stick your chest out and beat on your chest like you King Kong sort of thing. You know what I mean? You can go too far with that too. You can go too far coddling your boys. As well. But you have to. It's also coddling your girls. As well. You don't want to teach your girls to be a doormat. You don't want them to be, driven to lead with their emotions. And that's part of the problem when it comes to taking accountability. When we're talking about making better choices in men, you don't want them to always think that they have to lead with their heart. Do you see what I'm saying? You have to teach them to lead with their minds as well. Lead with your mind is first. Now, as women, we can let our heart override our mind a lot of times, but you have to do your best to, try to even it out. You know what I mean? You have to do. You just have to think with your mind, especially in these day and age. Before you put your all into it, you have to be responsible for your life choices. That's what I'm trying to say. When it comes to our girls and our boys, you have to teach them to be responsible for their own life choices. Because mama and daddy, or just mama or just daddy, is not always going to be there. You have to teach them accountability and responsibility, because your life is your life at the end of the day. And so, and you have to teach them independence as well. You don't want to teach them to rely on you all the time, because the world is unreliable and you are not always going to be there, And so teaching them, your girls and your boys, a sense of independence is imperative as well. It's critical thinking skills. You can't buy common sense in a grocery store, and so you just have to do the best that you can and pray for the best. Klaus said, I pray for these children in today's society. Yeah, and yes, everyone is doing well. I'm so glad to hear that, Klaus. Lady Tia said, all that build up emotions, get cause young boys to explode. Absolutely. Get them a space to let go. You're absolutely, Lady Tia. I agree. I also allow my children to question me. Absolutely. Because I don't want them afraid of questioning authority outside. You're absolutely right. I'm the coldest heart. That's why I said you have to allow them to express themselves. You can't question me, and I will give you a reason why. I'm asking you to do what I'm asking you to do, or I'm requiring you to do. Why? Not just cause I said so, okay, because it is for A, B, C, and D. But moreover, it is for your, safekeeping and your, health and your, mental stability. Of course, in different words, but absolutely. Lady Tia said the coldest heart, by doing so, they're more likely to come to you. That's right. And want to know that's right. I have always tried to be the cool aunt. And I've told you guys this many times. Sometimes my nieces and nephews, that came to me with stuff that they can't ask their mama or their daddy, so they come ask Auntie Libby. You know what I mean? And I be having to cringe on the inside. Even to this day, I still be having to cringe on the inside. Do you see what I'm saying? But I'm still going, if I don't even know what you're talking about, I'm going to find out. But some stuff I do not want to hear, and I hear it anyway. Because I want them to be able to talk to me. I want you to be able to come and talk to me before you have to talk to one of your friends. And I need you to know that I'm going to keep your confidence as long as it's not life-threatening. You know what I mean? And I'm going to try to help you answer these questions that you have. And when I say they can ask me anything, literally, they can ask me anything. Do you see what I'm saying? But like I said, sometimes I'm cringing on the inside. I ain't gonna lie, cause some of the stuff these kids that ask me, baby, honey, I would never have asked none of my aunties, or my mamas or my grandmamas. You know what I mean? But I didn't want to. And a lot of stuff I had to find out on my own after I left my mom and dad home. And I didn't want it to be that way for the young peoples in this family. You know what I mean? Because like I said, even if I'm cringing, I'm still gonna listen. I'm not gonna trip. I'm not gonna be overly dramatic. I'm gonna try to find out as best I can to give you an answer. Because you should not have to go to the world to ask them anything, especially something personal, when you can do that with somebody in your family. And for that reason, I bite my tongue a whole lot. But I try to find out, child. I'll be like, oh my God, here we go. And so, but then make it so bad. Well, not make it so bad, but I find that that's right, Lady Tia. I find that they always call me in the midnight hour, Lady Tia. I tell you that. So you're right about that. Keeping secrets with the IT. Yes, I told y'all about the midnight hour calls I be getting right. And so, but I'm so glad that the fellas in the family feel that they can talk to me or the mister if they can't talk to their own parents. You know what I mean? Because they always got you always got to feel like, you got to have somebody on your side. You don't want to ever feel like you want them to feel like they in the world alone. And I think for a lot of young people, they feel like they're in this world alone. And that's a scary feeling, And so, yeah, I absolutely agree with teaching your boys that it's okay to express their emotions, and teaching your children, boys and your girls, and teaching your children, to never be afraid to come and talk to you about anything, even if you got a cringe, like I said, And so, yeah, I think it's cool. In the same way, my nieces, I be needing to call them baby Jesus. Oh, okay, King's Minute, child. What you said? And then them boys too. I'm like, oh my God. I mean, the boys, they be asking a lot of questions. Okay, a lot. Lady, I'm the secret keeper. Everybody I know, where most bones are buried, and will never get. I know that's right. The coldest heart, right? Right? I know that's right. Child. Honey, you have no idea. But I agree with you. Anyway, let's get into this last part of listen to some more of what Brother Malcolm had to say for this computer start tripping again. Because there's one point that I wanted to maybe the whole thing, everything that he says is such a gem, and it's relevant even to this day. I don't want to fast forward to it. I don't even know how long we've been on here, but please hit the like button if you just joined the room and you didn't hit it. I know it's not a lot of us, but everybody here is here for a reason, and I appreciate all you guys. Okay, we ain't talking about beef, and I appreciate you guys being here. Okay, because we know that beef rules the day in the beef sector. Okay, but fortunately, I have a lot of subscribers that are not in the beef sector, so we can have this conversation. Okay, so anyway, let me start this video up again, and we get to the part that I want to talk about. I'm just going to pause it and we're going to talk about it. Because at one point of this audio, Brother Malcolm is going to be talking about a particular meeting that the black leader had, the prominent black leaders at the time, King and Whitney and a couple of them, they had this meeting at a hotel. That's the part I want to talk about. That's the part that I want to talk about because that is the day that the civil rights movement was sold out. Okay? So anyway, let's continue. I'm going to play, just gonna let it play.
As the house Negro and the field Negro, back during slavery, there was two kinds of slaves. There was the house Negro and the field Negro. The house Negro, they lived in the house with master. They dressed pretty good. They ate good because they ate his food, because he left. They lived in the attic or the basement, but still they lived near their master. And they loved their master more than the master loved himself. They would give their life to save their master's house quicker than the master would. The house Negro, if the master said, we got a good house here, the house Negro said, yeah, we got a good house here. Whenever the master said we, he said we. That's how you can tell a house Negro. If the master's house caught on fire, the house Negro would fight harder to put the blaze out than the master would. If the master got sick, the house Negro would say, "What's the matter, boss? We sick. We sick." He identified himself with his master more than his master identified. Bernie Sanders wants to be our 46th president.
It's a darn old commercial. Hold on, guys. I didn't even know it was a commercial in this thing. For 1 second. I know how to fix that. I had no idea.
And if you came to the house Negro and said, "Let's run away, let's escape, let's separate," that house Negro would look at you and say, "Man, you crazy. What you mean separate? Where is there a better house than this? Where can I wear better clothes than this? Where can I eat better food than this?" That was that house Negro. In those days, he was called a house nigger. And that's what we call him today, because we still got some house niggers running around here. This modern house Negro loves his master. He wants to live near him. He'll pay 3 times as much as the house is worth just to live near his master. And then brag about, "I'm the only Negro out here." I'm the only one.
Hold on, y'all. Thank you, Lady Tia, for the super chat. Lady Tia says, "Didn't mean to get you off topic. I just want to know y'all take on emotions with our kids. Thanks for touching on it. Moving right along. Thank you, Lady Tia. I appreciate your love. Okay, y'all, let's continue. I appreciate that. Hold on. Let's see here.
One on my job. I'm the only one in this school. You nothing but a house Negro. And if someone come to you right now and say, "Let's separate," you say the same thing that the house Negro said on the plantation. What you mean separate? From America? This good white man? Where you gonna get a better job than you get here? I mean, this is what you say. I ain't left nothing in Africa. That's what you say. Why, you left your mind in Africa. On that same plantation, there was the field Negro. The field Negro, those were the masters. There was always more Negroes in the field than there was Negroes in the house. The Negro in the field caught hell. He ate leftovers. In the house, they ate high up on the hog. The Negro in the field didn't get nothing but what was left of the insides of the hog. They call them chitlins nowadays. In those days, they call them what they were, guts. That's what you were, a gut eater. And some of you all still gut eaters. The field Negro was beaten from morning till night. He lived in a shack, in a hut. He wore cast-off clothes. And he hated his master. I say he hated his master. He was intelligent. That house Negro loved his master. But that field Negro, remember, they were in the majority. And they hated his master. When the house caught on fire, he didn't try and put it out. That field Negro prayed for a wind, for a breeze. When the master got sick, the field Negro prayed that he died. If someone come to the field Negro and said, let's separate, let's run, he didn't say, where are we going? He said, any place is better than hell. You got field Negroes in America today. I'm a field Negro. The masses are the field Negroes. When they see this man's house on fire, you don't hear these little Negroes talking about our government is in trouble. They say the government is in trouble. Imagine a Negro, our government. I even heard one say our astronauts. They won't even let him near the plant. And our astronauts, our Navy, that's a Negro that's out of his mind. That's a Negro that's out of his mind. Just as the slave master in that day used Tom, the house Negro, to keep the field Negroes in check, the same old slave master today has Negroes who are nothing but modern Uncle Toms, 20th century Uncle Toms, to keep you and me in check, keep us under control, keep us passive and peaceful and nonviolent. That's Tom making you nonviolent. It's like when you go to the dentist and the man is going to take your tooth. You're going to fight him when he starts pulling. So they squirt some stuff in your jaw called Novocaine to make you think they're not doing anything to you. So you sit there and because you got all that Novocaine in your jaw, you suffer peacefully. Blood running all down your jaw. And you don't know what's happening. Because someone has taught you to suffer peacefully. The white man do the same thing to you in the street. When he don't want to put knots on your head and take advantage of you and don't have to be afraid of you fighting back. To keep you from fighting back, he get these old religious Uncle Toms to teach you and me that just like Novocaine, suffer peacefully. Don't stop suffering, just suffer peacefully. As Reverend Cleet pointed out, let your blood flow in the streets. This is a shame. You know, he's a Christian preacher. If it's a shame to him, you know what it is to me. There's nothing in our book, the Quran, as you call it, Quran, teaches us to suffer peacefully. Our religion teaches us to be intelligent, be peaceful, be courteous, obey the law, respect everyone. But if someone puts his hand on you, send them to the cemetery. That's a good religion. In fact, that's an old-time religion. That's the one that Ma and Pa used to talk about. An eye for an eye, and a tooth for a tooth, and a head for a head, and a life for a life. That's a good religion. And then anybody, no one resents that kind of religion being taught but a wolf who intends to make you his meal. This is the way it is with the white man in America. He's a wolf, and you're a sheep. Anytime a shepherd, a pastor, teach you and me not to run from the white man, and at the same time teach us don't fight the white man, he's a traitor to you and me. Don't lay down our life all by itself. No. preserve your life. It's the best thing you got. And if you got to give it up, let it be even Steven. The slave master took Tom and dressed him well and fed him well and even gave him a little education, Gave him a long coat and a top hat and made all the other slaves look up to him. Then he used Tom to control them. The same strategy that was used in those days is used today by the same white man. He take a Negro, so-called Negro, and make him prominent, build him up, publicize him, make him a celebrity, and then he becomes a spokesman for Negro and a Negro leader.
Let me pause it right there. Do y'all remember, if you were on here earlier on in the video, when I was talking about a couple of entertainers that fear for their life right now, like what is his name? Said that he don't know when he gonna be killed the other day on that interview. Kanye West, and then you got Jay-Z paranoid, thinking they coming after him and all of this and all that because they gave them the long coat as opposed to the preachers nowadays. Because they already, we know they already work for the man, but then they start working on the entertainers to the point to where now they'll starting to fear their own lives if they speak any kind of truth at all, be it their music or interviews or anything. They're scared for I don't know when they're gonna kill me. They're coming for me. You know what I mean? That's the same thing that's going on right now in the entertainment industry, and we saw that even back when Tupac was killed. Any black person, any black male especially, that wants to be a free thinker and wants to speak any kind of life into his community, your head is now going to be on the chopping block. And so that is what Brother Malcolm was talking about. Anyway, let's continue just a little bit more.
I would like to just mention one thing else quickly, and that is the method that the white man uses, how the white man uses these big guns or Negro leaders against the Black Revolution. They're not a part of the Black Revolution. They're used against the Black Revolution.
Y'all pay attention to this part. This is what I was talking about.
To desegregate Albany, Georgia, the civil rights struggle in America reached its low point. King became bankrupt almost as a leader. Plus, even financially, the Southern Christian Leadership Conference was in financial trouble. Plus, it was in trouble, period, with the people when they failed to desegregate Albany, Georgia. Other Negro civil rights leaders of so-called national stature became fallen idols. As they became fallen idols, began to lose their prestige and influence, local Negro leaders began to stir up the masses. In Cambridge, Maryland, Gloria Richardson. In Danville, Virginia, and other parts of the country, local leaders began to stir up our people at the grassroots level. This was never done by these Negroes whom you recognize of national stature. They controlled you, but they never incited you or excited you. They controlled you, they contained you. They kept you on the plantation. As soon as King failed.
Thank you, T. Walker. Great content, Miss O. Thanks for the super chat, T. Walker. I appreciate it, babes. Thank you.
Negroes took to the streets.
Anyway, y'all pay close attention to this right here, because Malcolm X is spilling some true tea. When he said what he's going to say in a little bit, I went back and researched it, and he is absolutely telling the truth. So let's take a listen to this. This is the part I was talking about.
King got out and went out to California to a big rally and raised about, I don't know how many thousands of dollars. Come to Detroit and had a march and raised some more thousands of dollars. And recall, right after that, Wilkins attacked King, accused King and the Corps of starting trouble everywhere and then making the NAACP get him out of jail and spend a lot of money. And then he accused King and Corps of raising all the money and not paying it back. This happened. I got it in documented evidence in the newspaper. Roy started attacking King, and King started attacking Roy, and Farmer started attacking both of them. And as these Negroes of national stature begin to attack each other, they begin to lose their control of the Negro masses. And Negroes was out there in the streets. They was talking about, we're going to march on Washington. By the way, right at that time, Birmingham had exploded, and the Negroes in Birmingham, remember, they also exploded. They began to stab the crackers in the back and bust them upside the head. Yes, they did. That's when Kennedy sent in the troops down in Birmingham. So, and right after that, Kennedy got on the television and said, this is a moral issue. But that's when he said he's going to put out a civil rights bill. And when he mentioned civil rights bill and the Southern crackers started talking about they were going to boycott it or filibuster, then the Negroes started talking about what? We're going to march on Washington, march on the Senate, march on the White House, march on the Congress, and tie it up, bring it to a halt. Don't let the government proceed. They even said they were going to go out to the airport and lay down on the runway and don't let no airplanes land. I'm telling you what they said. That was revolution. That was revolution. That was the Black Revolution. It was the grassroots out there in the street. Scared the white man to death. Scared the white power structure in Washington, D.C. to death. I was there. When they found out that this black steamroller was going to come down on the Capitol, they called in Wilkins. They called in Randolph. They called in these national Negro leaders that you respect and told them, call it off. Kennedy said, look, y'all letting this thing go too far. And old Tom said, boss, I can't stop it because I didn't start it. I'm telling you what they said. They said, I'm not even in it, much less at the head of it. They said, these Negroes are doing things on their own. They're running ahead of us. And that old shrewd fox, he said, well, if you all aren't in it, I'll put you in it. I'll put you at the head of it. I'll endorse it. I'll welcome it. I'll help it. I'll join it. A matter of hours went by. They had a meeting at the Carlisle Hotel in New York City. The Carlisle Hotel is owned by the Kennedy family. That's the hotel Kennedy spent the night at 2 nights ago. Belongs to his family. A philanthropic society headed by a white man named Stephen Currier called all the top civil rights leaders together at the Carlisle Hotel and told them that by you all fighting each other, you're destroying the civil rights movement. And since you're fighting over money from white liberals, let us set up what's known as the Council for United Civil Rights Leadership. Let's form this council, and all the civil rights organizations will belong to it. And we'll use it for showing how tricky the white man is. And as soon as they got it formed, they elected Whitney Young as the chairman. And who you think became the co-chairman? Stephen Currier, the white man. A millionaire. Powell was talking about it down at the Cobo today. This is what he was talking about. Powell knows it happened. Randolph knows it happened. Wilkins knows it happened. King knows it happened. Every one of that so-called Big Six. They know what happened. Once they formed it, with the white man over it, he promised them and gave them $800,000 to split up between the Big Six, and told them that after the march was over, they'd give them $700,000 more. $1.5 million split up between leaders that you've been following, going to jail for, crying crocodile tears for, and they're nothing but Frank James and Jesse James and what you call it, brother. Soon as they got the setup organized, the white man made available to them top public relations experts. Opened the news media across the country at their disposal. And then they began to project these big six as the leaders of the march. Originally, they weren't even in the march. You was talking this march talk on Hastings Street. Is Hastings Street still here? On Hastings Street. You was talking the march talk on Lenox Avenue. And down on, Fillmore Street. And Central Avenue. And 42nd Street and 63rd Street. That's where the march talk was being talked. But the white man put the big six ahead of it. Made them the march. They became the march. They took it over. And the first move they made after they took it over, they invited Walter Reuther, a white man. They invited a priest, a rabbi, and an old white preacher. Yes, an old white preacher. The same white element that put Kennedy in power, labor, the Catholics, the Jews, and liberal Protestants. Same clique that put Kennedy in power joined the March on Washington. It's just like when you got some coffee that's too black, which means it's too strong. What you do? You integrate it with cream. You make it weak. If you pour too much cream in, you won't even know you ever had coffee. It used to be hot, it becomes cool. It used to be strong, it becomes weak. It used to wake you up, now it'll put you to sleep. This is what they did with the March on Washington. They joined it. They didn't integrate it, they infiltrated it. They joined it, became a part of it, took it over. And as they took it over, it lost its militancy. They ceased to be angry. They ceased to be hot. They ceased to be uncompromising. Why, it even ceased to be a march. It became a picnic, a circus. Nothing but a circus with clowns and all. You had one right here in Detroit. I saw it on television with clowns leading, white clowns and black clowns. I know you don't like what I'm saying, but I'm going to tell you anyway, because I can prove what I'm saying. If you think I'm telling you wrong, you bring me Martin Luther King and A. Philip Randolph and James Farmer and those other three, and see if they'll deny it over a microphone. No, it was a sellout. It was a takeover. When James Baldwin came in from Paris, they wouldn't let him talk because they couldn't make him go by the script. Burt Lancaster wrote the speech that Baldwin was supposed to make. They wouldn't let Baldwin get up there because they know Baldwin's liable to say anything.
Let me pause right there for a minute. When he was talking about it was a sellout, it was a takeover, he is absolutely right. Research the Big Six, y'all. But especially about, I want to pause right here because of what he said about James Baldwin. Now, we know James Baldwin. He was one of our more outspoken civil rights warriors. Okay, one of our more prominent, because he wasn't going to let his speech be muffled in any way. James Baldwin was a gay black man. Back then, a gay black man was one of the leaders of the civil rights movement. They mention James Baldwin even to this day, but they never mention the fact that he was a gay black man. So this also goes to when I reworded the title, are black men and males, straight black men and males, are they pretty much the gatekeepers when it comes to being the white people or the black people in the black community? Because not only did you have straight black men leading the rights, leading the fight for our civil and human rights. We also had, and not only James Baldwin, we know that there were other gay black men in the fight as well. Do you see what I'm saying? But even that, even being a gay black man back then did not stop them from fighting for our civil and human rights. Do you see what I'm saying? But even that, even those types of gay black men have been emasculated. They have been put in a place of overseers, if you will, when it comes to black people in the LGBTQ IA or whatever community. Do you see what I'm saying? We see that over here in the B sector. That is why I want to pause and mention that, right to this day. Even that has been watered down. Even that has had, in the words of Malcolm X, has too much cream added to it. So even that is asleep these days. Do you see what I'm saying? And so that is why when you see them, when you first saw them, wanting to take a stand and start to fight for LGBTQ, for the rights of LGBTQ people, what did you see in the forefront? You saw black people put in front of that whole march. Why? It's because when other groups of people start to fight for their civil and human rights, they always put black people at the forefront. But as soon as that movement starts to take a steam, and it starts to gain progress, what do? The white man will come in and he will usurp that. You will no longer see, the black people at all. Why? Because he don't need you no more. He don't need you to lead the fight no more, because you done got him where he needs to be, and now he can take it over. And that's what Malcolm X was telling us about the Big Six. What he was telling us about the meeting that they had at the Carlisle Hotel. Do you see? So you have to be careful when it comes to certain types of Anglos, even when it came to JFK. You see what I'm saying? A lot of people, a lot of us when we was young, we would see a picture of Martin Luther King and a picture of Martin Luther King, Jesus, and white Jesus, and JFK hanging on the wall of of our grandparents' homes and stuff like that, not knowing the whole time that the movement pretty much died at the Carlisle Hotel. It was sold to them. The civil rights movement was sold out for under $1 million at the time, and the remainder to be split up, like they said. And now we know why. I believe that is why Martin Luther King later made that speech when he said, "I fear that I have, led my people into a burning house." Perhaps he realized, what he did was wrong. And somebody mentioned Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton. You see Jesse now trying to circle back all the shady stuff that he done when it comes to the Black People's Campaign and the Rainbow Coalition back in the day, all the selling out and butt kissing that he did. Al Sharpton too, even though he wasn't in the Rainbow Coalition. You will see them start to turn around and try to right the wrong at the end of their life. Do you see what I'm saying? But what you was doing wrong. Jesse Jackson, even after Dr. King died, Jesse Jackson had the ability to do much more, but I think that he was afraid. He didn't want to martyr himself. You get down to a Jay-Z and a Kanye. Dakota's Heart just said Jay-Z's grandmama told him they're going to have to kill it. You see what I'm saying? Nobody wants to martyr themselves. And you shouldn't have to martyr yourself in order to fight, continue to fight for your people, for equality. You shouldn't have to, But unfortunately, that's what happens there. That we have always been, a lot of us have always been, enamored by, what do they call it, trinkets and shiny objects or something like that. We love shiny objects. We love material things. We love money, even at the detriment of our own people. Nothing wrong with loving money, but you should never love money enough to sell out your own people. And so when they get to the end of their life, they start rethinking things and start trying to, redo a whole lot of stuff. You know what I mean? And so, so that's what he's talking about. But he's telling the truth. Research the Big Six. Research the Big Six. That's all you got to do. Now, let me see if he said anything else. Hold on.
They controlled it so tight, they told those Negroes what time to hit town, how to come, where to stop, what sign to carry, what song to sing, what speech they could make and what speech they couldn't make. And then told them to get out of town by sundown. And every one of those Toms were out of town by sundown. Now, I know you don't like my saying this, but I can back it up. It was a circus, a performance. It beat anything Hollywood could ever do. The performance of the year. Ruther and those other three devils should get a Academy Award for the best actors because they acted like they really love Negroes and fooled a whole lot of Negroes. And the 6 Negro leaders should get an award too for the best supporting cast.
Pleased to welcome you to part 2 of the.
Well, that's all we have gone over. Okay, so that's pretty much the end of the video, y'all. All that I had got on Malcolm X's speech in this part of the video. Let me stop this stream. Hold on a minute. Let me try to stop sharing the video. And so yeah, let's see if it'll stop. Hold on. Let me see if I did it right, y'all. Ooh, child, I can't believe we got through the second part of it without being interrupted by whatever it was that was interrupting us. I want to read this one. The coldest heart said, yeah, you got politicians posing in Kente Klaus for votes. They put their white sheets back on as soon as they get it off. Yep, we see that right now with Biden, don't we? Biden made a whole lot of promises. What he say? You ain't black if you ain't voting for Biden. Well, we see that we see what good that did us, don't we? You know what I mean? And so yeah. Oh, it's a Big 6 on YouTube. Also, T Walker. Research it. Look at the video. Do you see what I'm saying? Thanks, call me that. Remember when Al was looking like Big Perm for Friday in the Terry Cloud? I remember King's Mina. When I found out they made hip hop. I didn't know hip hop was a holiday. I had no idea. Child. First they was afraid of hip hop. Remember, they was trying to put them all in jail or kill them. All right. Back when NWA, back in them times, okay, Tupac and all of them was standing up for something, okay, and trying to speak life and speak revolution. You know what I mean? But now it's a holiday. Well, all right. Well, after they usurped it, after they changed the face of it, I guess it is a holiday now. You know what I mean? So yeah. She on the slave ship, chat. You're a best, call me that. But I really want you guys to hear that. And like I said, I am glad that free thinker Amethyst Hart asked me to revisit this video because I had I had some more to say about it, but I think that we posed and answered a whole lot of questions. I hope you guys can still hear me. Oh Lord, hit the one if y'all can still hear me. Back then hip hop spoke the truth. Yeah, back then hip hop spoke the truth. It's saying that y'all can hear me on here, but not on my computer. Hit the one if y'all can still hear me, please. Because my computer done froze up again. I'm so sick of it. I don't like to get on this computer. Can y'all hear me? Okay, y'all can still hear me. Okay. Yeah, absolutely right. We need some tangibles. You know, we allow the politicians and stuff, the Republicans and the Democrats, to talk a good game. You see what I'm saying? But they have no follow through, and they have no follow through because we don't require a follow through. We know that today, when it comes to black people, the biggest block of Democratic voters are black women, and even knowing that, we still have no follow through. You know, I saw a video yesterday, I think on Roland Martin, maybe, when a lot of black female voters and stuff were, calling for accountability. But we should have been, whether you're Democrat or Republican, neither party is for us. Do you see what I'm saying? And but even though neither party is for us, because they need us, they need our vote. When it comes time for them to need our vote, we need tangibles, just like you said. We just don't need talk. We just don't need a good speech. Ain't nobody in church no more. We need you to produce, what you're saying, and do what you say you're going to do. And unfortunately, when they're done needing our vote, they don't need you no more for 4 more years, and they come out saying the same old thing, that they're promising the same old thing that they did the 4 years prior, because we require no follow through. And that is not only up in Washington. We don't even require follow through with the people that we vote into office, in our own towns, in our own cities. We require no follow through. So for that reason, they don't take you seriously. You see what I'm saying? Our votes need to go to the highest bidder. All right. We need to see some progress, not just hear you talk about progress. We need to see a follow through, and we don't require that until we start requiring a follow through. Things are never going to change, in my opinion. Dakota, so I said, T. Walker, they say it's not real. It still doesn't negate the fact that the entire letter, talking about the Willie Lynch letter, some say it's not real. Please do one on the Willie Lynch when you can. And so I think I got a video on the Willie Lynch. I'm gonna try to find it. If I do, we can do another video like this on it too. And if I don't, I can always we can always do a video about the Willie Lynch letter. I think I did one in the past though. That's right, neither party is for us. I agree. Dang, gotta go. That's a call. Okay, thank you, Ned, for joining us. Thank you. I hope you'll listen to the replay. Okay, so anyway, y'all, we need to require follow through when it comes to our men, gay, straight, or whatever. We don't even require. We are not even required. We're no longer requiring them to have any type of follow through. So when you get these comments coming from these race hustlers, these female race hustlers, calling for all sorts of crazy stuff, selective breeding, aborting black boys. When you hear this coming out of the mouths of them, it's pretty much wrapped around bitterness, okay? Because they made wrong life choices. That's where that bitterness is coming from. When you hear this bitterness coming from gay men and straight men, it's bitterness. It's because of bad life choices, bad childhood trauma, and they want to come online and spill all this rhetoric and all this hate. And quite frankly, I don't have time for it. Okay, I have chosen to preserve my energy. Do you see what I'm saying? I don't have to feed into your whatever it is that you're going through. Okay, I'm not your relative. Okay, I didn't do it to you. Do you see what I'm saying? That's a personal issue. That's a you issue. Then none of us women should be feeding into this nonsense. The only way that you should be feeding the women that feed into this nonsense, even over in this B sector, not only this B sector, the black sector, you hear all these dysfunctional, hyper masculine and angry black men, gay and straight. Because if you take the sexuality out of it and think about it, they all sound the same. A lot of the men over here sound just like the men in the black manosphere over there. You see what I'm saying? If you take the time and listen, they all spouting the same thing. They hate the black woman, but you really don't hate the black woman. You really hate yourself. You really mad at yourself. So that's why I don't pay attention to none of that nonsense. And I don't have to feed into it. I don't have to feed into you or play a part in you disrespecting me. I can overlook you and move it right along. Do you see what I'm saying? Because whatever you think about me, once again, that's a you problem. That's not a me problem. And I wish more of us women will start thinking that way. That's their problem. That's not our problem. And they apply it to all black women and spread that. That's right. That's right. But you don't have to feed into it. You know what I mean? You don't have to feed into it. You ain't got to praise it alone. You ain't got to uplift it. You ain't got to pay no attention to it at all. All right? Because see, the problem is some people are really used to that type of abusive language. Myself, I am not used to that kind of language. So for that reason, I am not going to feed into it. You know what I mean? I used to have some good knockdown drag outs, especially over there in the manosphere and even over here in the beef sector sometimes. But I have chosen, you know what? I'm going to protect my energy from these energy vampires, and then they can move it right along because that's a them problem. It's not a me problem. Okay? I'm not your relative, honey. I'm not your baby mama. I'm not that girl that hurt you in high school. I'm not that your mama or whatever your family member was that caused you childhood trauma. I am not that person. So I'm not going to pay no attention to that because that's a you problem. Okay, that's on you to work that out. Go seek therapy. YouTube is not therapy. Okay? But a lot of people don't see it that way. A lot of us don't see it that way, but I do. And I can only speak for myself. I'm not going to feed into it. I don't have time, honey. Okay? Anyway, the coldest horse said they love us when the white man is in their neck. You got that right. That's about the only time when they need protection. You're right about that, the coldest heart. You're right about that. Well, I'm going to get off here, y'all. I don't know how in the world long I've been on here, but thank you guys for showing up. Thank you guys that stayed with me this whole time. Thanks for the super chats. I really appreciate it. I hope you guys got something out of this revisiting of this video that I did over a year ago. Thank you once again, Amethyst Heart, for asking me to revisit this conversation. I really appreciate it. I'm going to try to find that video if I still got it up, talking about the Willie Lynch letter. If I don't still have it up, I don't mind coming back. You're welcome, Liz. I don't mind coming back and speaking on that. You know what I mean? I'd rather talk about something like this and have just a few of us, because a lot of this message is not meant for everybody. Because some people like to live in the world of alternate reality. You know what I mean? But I can't live there all the time. Do you see what I'm saying? And so sometimes I would just rather not even it was nice having you, the coldest heart. I would just rather not even go there sometime. You know what I mean? Thank you, T Walker. And like I said, thank you guys so much. Please hit the like button on your way out the door. I'm sure you already have. Please consider hitting that subscribe button, and maybe even that join button. And I want to continue to have more conversations like this because, like I said, I'm not going to be giving my energy away to a whole bunch of nonsense because we're in the beef sector over in the beefing ain't even fun no more. Okay? It's done got so mean-spirited and beyond, beefing on into rhetoric, on into very destructive rhetoric. Do you see what I'm saying? Because they expect you they expect the words that are coming out of their mouth to phase you in some kind of way. And because it don't phase you, it even makes them more angry. And it's a them problem and not a us problem. Okay? And so on that note, I'm going to get out of here. I love you guys. Thank you, Keisha. Thank you guys so much for joining me once again. And I'm going to talk to you guys later. You guys have a nice rest of your hump day. Okay? And I'm what happened to my computer, child? Okay, like I said, I'm going to talk to y'all later. This computer tripping even more. Bye, y'all. Peace. Child, this computer is doing the most. Lord, what did I do? Oh, Lord. I ain't supposed to do that. Can I log out? Ooh, child. Did that come back on? Hold on, y'all. Oh, I never even clicked over to the other side. Anyway, I got it, y'all. I can't stand this computer. Bye, y'all. Peace. Child.